Are you watching?
What are we watching?
Orlando and Detroit.
Oh yes, I see.
Funny. One time, one of my listeners called me out for this shit because you can see it in the reflection
that you're distracted
of the X-Men behind me. You can see what I'm watching, and when on my wider screen, you can barely see it now, but usually you can see it. So someone was like, "Oh, what game has been watching?"
Man, I feel like half the time
playoffs. Like, come on, man. Like, what you expect me to do?
Now, I look, you have the time feel like you have to be like careful with the reflections. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
my god, yeah.
It's something, and it's like, oh damn, I had my birth certificate on the other wall.
Right.
My identity, you know?
Yeah. So, it's crazy.
I turned all my mirrors around in the crib.
Trust, I've tested so many times. Like, let me make sure this shit is not in frame.
Yeah, all people can see is what I'm watching on TV. So as long as I'm not wilding out,
that's smart.
Like, yeah.
I don't even keep shit in the same room.
Not your drawers and nothing.
Yeah, as long as
you actually stand up and you know ain't shit there.
I actually had to go put on some shorts because it's so hot in here. Otherwise, I have to be in my drawers.
Just
so
in drawers,
shorts. Yeah, I was like, let me do something.
No, literally, because we've had like sex toy sponsors for the podcast because it's a relationship podcast primarily, and it was a couple times where I had they had sent me some shit to test, but we hadn't announced yet that we had a sponsorship. So it was literally just like dildos and shit.
Just has sex toys in the background.
Just in the background. I'm like, no, guys, it's for work. I promise, it's for it's for this. It's I'm gonna give you guys a discount code. I promise. They're like, all right, Eddie, sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
exactly. Give me the code.
Yeah,
that's great.
But yeah,
yeah, we're good to go. They posted. Joel posted.
Okay, man. So, okay, cool, good. Yeah, we were live anyway. But I mean, we're just shooting shit right now.
Okay.
We'll find our pace as we go, as we get to it. But yeah, you said Tatiana that you had never read the comic. How does it strike you, the show, in terms of what made you want to watch it? I guess because it's kind of become like a cultural phenomenon at this point. Which feels nice as a OG-ish fan, not as OG as the DJ here, but quite OG.
I mean, you were issue 40 is pretty OG, man. That's like
okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's animation, so I'm a big animation head. Period. Like anime, American cartoons, things like that. Like I'm really big on animation, just in general. So anything like this that merges that with adult content, if you will, like I'm gonna probably be on it anyway, and even if it's kids stuff, I'm gonna be on it too. But and also just knowing the background of I still have the background, it's Robert Kirkman, so
had you read his other stuff?
No, I just obviously Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead,
yeah. Now I do have some some of the Invincible books, but it's just that's just part of my ministry when it comes to fandom, learning more about
gospel,
it. Oh, this is some new shit out that is just at the time, different from anything that was on TV and everything. Let me see what this is about. And, then, also talking to Ben, hey, you know anything about this? And Ben's like, yeah, this, this is why this is, interesting, or why it's not interesting, or why you may want to check it out. So, and a lot of times, it's recommendations from him that I'll do. I'm always big on recommendations, especially from people that I trust their judgment and their tastes. So
a recommendation is the strong, because my list is kind of poster, trailer, by the team that, it's kind of what you said about Kirkman.
Right.
Like if it's by somebody who's done something or if it's got Denzel in it or whoever that I know, they pick good projects. But the top one is if somebody that I know makes good picks, says it's good, even if everything is that's why I watched that movie Him, because everybody said it was trash, everybody said it was terrible, and then somebody said, yo, Eddie, you like this movie, watch it. And I was like, cool, done. I went and watched, and I was like, this is a good
Ben and I will defend that movie to the grave.
I mean, not because it's good,
not because it's amazing,
but because, okay, y'all were watching it ironically.
Let me be clear. No, not even just that. It is a work of art in a different type of way.
Yeah,
it really is. And at the end of the day, so one, Marlon Wayans, hands down. You got to give that brother his flowers. Regardless of the premise of the movie and the wilds. Can I curse?
Oh yeah, it's
Okay,
it's a
so
sex
wild
podcast,
shit that went down, regardless of the things that may or may not have made sense, you cannot tell me you did not watch that full movie and went along with Marlon's performance and didn't feel something. That man put his foot into that role, whether you consider that a good role or a good movie or not. Just first of all, he stole the show every moment he could. That was for the price of admission alone. Okay, even though I didn't pay to see it, but that was worth the price of admission alone.
It was price,
like
stolen goods.
Marlon Wayans is a bigger force of acting than people credit him to be. That's number one. Number two, yes, the movie was just outrageous and out of control, but within that framework, as I mentioned, of Marlon and what they were trying to do, I was like, well, let's just see where it goes. And yes, there is a concept there of just watching ironically, like, this is insane. Like, I think we rated it on Rotten Tomatoes like a C or something like that, but we didn't say it was a terrible film. Like, so we didn't say it was like.
Okay, so what's bad about the movie? Because I'm unironically defending it. I'm saying I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the acting. I liked the premise. I'm saying I for real liked it.
What's bad about it? What is the plot of the movie exactly? Explain that to me.
The plot is a athlete going to get trained by a crazy mentor. That's the plot.
What is the meaning of the movie at the very end? What are you supposed to come away with? What did the end mean?
I'll say what I think the end meaning, and I understand why maybe people didn't love it, but I would say I'm not necessarily looking for every movie to have a parable or a moral or anything like that. I'm going, here's something that happened with the characters.
Let me stop you before you continue. Understood at that point. However, the movie made it very deliberate that they were trying to make this a parable and trying to put some type of social commentary and mental commentary. So they were trying to deliberately say mental, social, emotional commentary.
I don't necessarily disagree. What makes you say that?
Sure. The use of metaphors, imagery, lots of imagery, lots of.
Okay. So the movie is telling us, hey, you're going to get, we're trying to say something.
We're trying.
For y'all, didn't say much.
It didn't say what we think they thought it said. Let's say that.
Okay. So you think it was trying to say something. And it did. Okay, but sorry, I'll go back and answer your initial question since we just sidestepped for a second. My answer to what it's saying is just that the sports shit is some sort of like neo-slavery complex that destroys people's bodies. Like that's, it feels like it was, I feel like it pretty cleanly landed at the thing that it was talking about. Like,
I agree with
you. The white wife and the brain injury shit and the impact frames. I'm like, yeah, you're telling the story that I wasn't even looking for it to be that, but you did. I think you did.
I agree with you with your assessment of what you think the story is about and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
That last point you said was the questionable part, that it was clean. A lot of the people who have and the reason why it got rated the way it did, or it got reviewed the way it did, because it was not clean. It was very messy in its approach and delivery. It was, and you may disagree, but this is why, like Ben and I, if you ever listen to that review, it's on our ForAllnerds page.
And just ripping this shit apart.
No, we didn't rip it apart. We explained that, like, while we had the things that we loved about it and why we thought people was dogging it out too bad, like too much, we also fully understood why people were like, what the hell is this? And why they were confused and why it didn't necessarily be clean.
What things might they have changed? Like, what was the shit that you were going like specifically? Like, when they did this scene, why did they do this? This was confusing. They should have done this, or this didn't make sense, or this felt like a waste of time. Like, what were the things that stuck out for y'all as we understand why people are like, this is a messy narrative device, or this is a messy way of trying to convey your message?
You want to take that?
I just didn't feel like it was a very clean script. Like, I felt like I'd probably have to read the script to really give you the straight up points of where it didn't really work. But overall, I just remember it just being like, oh, okay, this is, like you said, it had
even just a single weird shit that happened. Like any scene where you were like, that was a dumb scene. I'm just wondering if y'all have those.
Every time my man got hit over the head, like it just, when he gets hit over the head in the beginning of the film.
Like it's Looney Tunes. They had a big mallet.
That's what it felt
like Looney Tunes. Like when my man gets hit over the head at the beginning of the film, by some random dude in a costume. And then later on, when the evil villain is monologuing about how we sent this guy after you and all this, It's just like, word, you send a dude in a costume, you know, who I'm not even going to see, who just don't hit me in the back of the head anyway. Like, what was the point of the costume, fam? No one else is out there. You know, it's like,
why did you dress up for an assault?
They were shifting it between it being this imagery filled parable, and then being, oh, we just did that just because. Like, it was literally going back and forth between that during the whole movie. So I fully understand why people were like, this shit is ass, but also we didn't feel that way.
I feel like I'm just a dummy. Like I'm easy to please with certain shit, and I'm like, the fact that it's moving back and forth rapidly between the avant-garde, like, is this real? Are we actually seeing what we're seeing? Is this just imagery? Is this imagination? Is this hallucination? And back to, no, this is like semi-grounded in the real world. So there's some things that are happening that are real, because it's the premise of it is the same as like Ex Machina. It's the same setup. You know what I mean? And that movie has been done a million times. You go off to a crazy, eccentric master as a apprentice to study under them, and it's actually the same plot as Willy Wonka. Like it's going off to study with a master, and then you realize that they're actually way crazier than you thought. But then it's layering on top of that this, like, are we imagining certain things? Kind of like what's that show that they did? Them? Is that what it was called? Not the movie.
The one that was on Amazon.
The ones that was Amazon with
them.
Them.
I didn't watch that.
And I'm like, I don't, me neither, but I've seen scenes of it. And I'm like, I'm game for this. But I can probably concede that I'm in a minority and I'm just easy to please with some slightly weird shit. And it just felt like, there's just some weird shit.
Yeah. And that's why we don't fault you for liking, because like I said, we didn't hate the movie. We just, we thought it was almost cult classic for us. I would, at least that's how I would like. Because I
think maybe they fucked it up because they said it was Jordan Peele and people were expecting a Jordan Peele movie.
Well, it wasn't Jordan. Like, he helped produce.
He was a producer.
Yeah,
but they put his name big as fuck on the shit, like it was going to be.
And the trailer makes it feel like it's a Jordan Peele movie. So it's one of those things where people are looking for multiple meanings, et cetera, and it's not that. Like I said, we thought it was entertaining.
We thought it was entertaining,
and I thought it was well shot. I thought the cinematography, all the sets, all that stuff was really dope. But it wasn't something that I'm gonna like actually watch again anytime soon, or probably ever. Like, I always have this thing on ForAllnerds. We always call them the TNT movies, when TNT used to have basketball. When they would have basketball, especially, and right before the game, they would always show movies, you know, and so. It'd be like, would I turn this off while I'm waiting for the game?
It's a background movie.
Would I try and find
FX used to do that same shit as well? Where it's just easier.
So if this was on FX, TNT, TBS, I'd watch it. Yep.
These cable. These are cable movies. Is what you're saying.
But definitely where I'm not paying attention for most of it. I'm cleaning the house, etc.
I can't fault y'all. Right, do y'all have other weird movies that you'll defend like this? Like, because this one feels similar to like a Vivarium or like Cure for Wellness kind of, maybe, where it's like, you don't know, for me it lands in that same, like, this is semi weird but I don't mind kind of downloading Nancy, I don't know, kind of stuff. Do y'all have movies that y'all like, I swear by this for real, I know that people think it's weird and don't like it? No, y'all just have perfect flawless taste, huh?
No, there's a bunch of weird time travel movies I like.
Yeah, maybe for me, Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind.
People love that shit.
But I love the imagery. A lot of people do love it, but I think even because a lot of people, because it's so old now, but a lot of people look at it and kind of get weirded out by the approach.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would say that a lot.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, people. I don't know what they expected.
I mean, that's like a
that's another. That's a great. This is in that same vein to me, being John Malkovich. Okay. Yeah. Where it's like, is this, what are we seeing? Is this,
but
or like, what's the
see, that's what
the Charlie Kaufman shit? What's that one?
Adaptation. Being John Malkovich is being John Malkovich, you know, and it's like, I wouldn't put him in that same, that's what I mean. It's attempting to do some of those things, but
doesn't land.
It's not dropping you on the side of the Jersey Turnpike when you come out of John Malkovich's head. You know, it's those type of things where it's like, nah, man, those are different levels. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Invincible season 4 finale is just dropped. What are our? Let's just go 5 out of 10 for right now, in terms of broadly cultural wise, and I guess based on previous seasons. Where does it fall for us?
This season,
yeah.
You said like out of 10?
5.
Or
Yeah,
out of
fuck it,
5?
out of 10. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Whatever ranking you want to use. Okay.
Let's go 5.
Whatever you feel most comfortable. So with
the
because
season.
otherwise we got to do math and conversions and shit.
So we'll do out of 5, and for the season,
2.5.
Out of 5. Okay, so 50% almost. Okay,
maybe 2. It was mid. Whatever mid is.
Mid. Yeah, I felt it was mid in the beginning half of the season, and I didn't really get into it until towards the end.
Yep.
And I know we'll talk about it more, but there was lots of aggravations that were just persisting as the season went on. I would give it maybe a 65 to 75%. So what is that, like 3.5?
That's like a B-.
Yeah.
3.5 to 4. 3.5 is like a decent. 4 is a good movie, I would say. 3.5 is like, that was solid. I don't regret having watched that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
2 is like,
I wish now.
I don't regret it.
I don't regret it now. Like when I first started, I was just like, "Fuck, this is a slog." So
I'm forcing myself to watch through this, y'all.
At first, yeah. At first, I felt that way compared to previous seasons.
I gotta look at the episodes, but there was like I thought the finale was really strong, and then there was another episode I thought was really strong, and then I thought most of it was not.
Yeah. The finale was huge. I think the penultimate episode before it was big for me.
The one where they had you actually thinking about crying for the Viltrumites was really great.
I wasn't crying for the
where they show us the because I think we reviewed that one with Redux City. We had him on to talk about that episode with the scourge virus, and they give us all that background.
Oh, when they gave us that background. I mean, it was. I didn't feel sorry for him at all. I didn't feel sorry for him.
No, I don't feel sorry.
I was like, they should have done more. We were arguing that whole episode because I was just like, if it was me, and this is what they did with the post-credit scene of this finale episode where Thetis is like, they almost made him seem a little evil, like the way he started screaming at the end. He was like, "You got to kill all of them."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Thetis has been questionable for 3 reasons. Thetis has been questionable since he was introduced. For me, he's always been questionable. I've never fully trusted him. It was always
the answer to the question is yes for me. I agree with him. He's done he's correct.
I think he's correct. You know what? I'm gonna take that path, the most extreme path, and say that he is correct in this cartoon sense. However, I also like in real life, I don't think I would support genocide.
100% agree.
But in the context of
the framework, in this context, like, come on, sometimes you gotta genocide a little bit in this context.
See that?
Now that's where, and it's like I do agree, but it's always a but because I'm like, if you agree in the context of even this framework, what is your real, for me in my head, what are your real like values
in the real world? Like to take that even further, I think that we gotta be careful with the hypothetical premises that like fiction creates, because they do this a lot, where they create a scenario where they create this insane trolley problem to get you to agree with genocide or domestic abuse or whatever crazy shit. And it's like, but then you got to realize this is just some guy in a room who wrote a story, and then we're assessing it as if there are real people who did this thing. Like it reminds me of in the first season with Amber, where everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, she's such a fucking bitch! I can't believe she fucking knew that Mark was a superhero all the time." And it's like, okay, wait a second, a white man wrote that. Where Amber didn't do anything. She's a fictional character. This is just a made up set of actions. So then when we're trying to assess like what should Mark do in that situation, we do have to remind ourselves that like this isn't real. And for the genocide shit, I'm thinking there is no thing in our real world that tracks as cleanly to the need for genocide as what we see in Invincible. I don't think there's ever been, if we look at all the most horrific empires, I don't think there's been anything that tracks cleanly to how devastating 47 Viltrumites are. And I'll take that stance.
That's actually a good premise to discuss, like Ben said.
Yeah, let me turn the volume up on my mic a little bit.
Please, yeah. Adjust the headphones. I'll stand on that.
Yeah, because I mean it's an interesting premise to think about. You know, it's a good thought experiment, right? In our current times, are there any empires that deserve genocide? Let's even look at the popular one that everyone loves to bring up, which I'm always hilarious how it always goes to this one, but let's go to it. the Nazis. People always want to say, look how the Nazis were handled, where they were not handled well after the end of World War II. Most of them were shipped off to other countries, et cetera, et cetera. Operation Paperclip is Googleable, you know, all that.
But feel free to explain it to the listeners.
Okay, for those who don't know, I mean, just a real
that's
short.
The Brazil shit, right?
No, that's the Operation Paperclip. Is the American shit, where a bunch of Nazi scientists were brought over to America to help develop the atomic bomb, and God knows what else. And then there's a lot of Nazis who went to places like Argentina and other places in South America, and their families, etc., are thriving to this day. Most of the money, all the art, etc., that they stole was never returned, has never been found to this day. All that wealth, all that, you know, etc. So people can universally pretty much agree, other than, you know, insane people, that the Nazis were bad, right?
Right.
So now the idea is, okay, why did we not do something more to these people who were genocidal maniacs? And then this is like the same question that I've been talking about with this season of Daredevil, and I've been feeling the same way about Invincible, is that both of them seem to me to be promoting centrism. And I feel like there's a lot of centrism in fandom right now, and I feel like it's one of the weakest ideals I've ever heard of, because to me it just basically says I defend the status quo. And like Daredevil is like, okay, I'll let the Kingpin go, even though I know this man is a murderer. And Invincible is like, okay, well, I mean, in this situation now I'm not talking about Invincible with the Viltrumites on Earth at the end of the season, right? That's more of a, it's
the most horrific decision.
You have no
That's a practical choice, which is different
than
should we release the virus?
Right. No,
he's not forgiving. He's saying, I don't want my people to die.
Yeah. Now about releasing the viruses, that's
another different. That's a different.
Yeah, I'm talking about what Invincible chooses with Thrag at the end of the season,
where he said, yes, you could stay.
Yeah, that's not the situation. But in this whole season has been a lot of, should I kill this? Should I kill that? Which is part of the reason why me and Tatiana both probably feel it's a drag. Because he's been doing this for seasons upon seasons.
It's one of why I said I get aggravated. I've particularly been aggravated, and even more so this season, because to me he sounds like a fucking baby. It's like, and I'm not
I grow up.
I'm not counting.
You're 17. You're a man now, or how?
You're at war.
You're at war, right? I'm not counting the genocide conversation, right? That's a whole nother thing. I'm just counting like his typical fights, the typical battles where he's whining. Oh, I don't know if I should kill this person, this and this and that. And sure, you can argue all day that that's his humanity that he's battling against. These people have to fucking go, sir. Like just like when he made that executive decision, the first fucking time I've ever seen him make an executive decision, like, no, I have to kill these niggas now. This, Flash wannabe nigga is not gonna make it here in time. You remember when he was holding up that guy and he ended up punching him in the face? Right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Just before we get into the specifics of Mark's, kill policy individually, I do want to dig in on this genocide convo.
Sure.
I think the thing that I'll say, and I want to hear from both of y'all, but I think the thing that I would add, and then I want to hear what Tatiana thinks, is I think that there's a difference between a Nazi and a German, and that's core to my stance here. And talking about forgiving an individual person and letting an individual person go that's a Joker, Batman, Kingpin, Daredevil. This individual did some fuck shit, and if I let them go, they're going to continue to do more bad things. Should I kill them? That's one kind of conversation. But I think broadly in the real world, there are two different factors that happen here, which is that people are coerced within systems to behave a particular way, and they operate within those systems, even if they have the capacity to do otherwise, and the idea of restorative or reconciliatory sort of justice. So when we think about what allowed Rwanda to get from a genocide between two ethnic groups to relatively functioning, and there are experts who would talk about this differently than I would have, who would understand it better, but to having those two ethnic groups being able to operate side by side, as opposed to attempting to solve genocide with genocide. I think in the real world, we don't have something where each individual member is not only evil, but capable of destroying a planet by themselves. So that's,
I would disagree on both counts.
Okay.
And because on both counts, we have individual members of society capable of destroying the planet on their own. We have people who can build a nuclear bomb in their house. Boom. And then on the other
that's true, but I agree with your point.
I would not agree that Viltrumites are evil per se. That is, and there is the thing. The show is arguing that there. You have Mark, you have Nolan, you have people who have shown that Viltrumites from birth are not evil. They are just trained in the society, conditioned to be evil, like by society. But they are arguing that they all need to be destroyed. And you are arguing, and so that's a right. Hold up, so there we go back to the Nazi thing and back to other societies on Earth that have proven capable of destroying the whole Earth. Do we eliminate them, or do we be like, oh, y'all will figure it out one day?
Right. I have a question. I'm just going to combine what Eddie's saying and what you're saying. So the whole German versus Nazi approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, if you use the Viltrumite example,
mm-hmm.
there are just Viltrumites that are born, those are the Germans, right? And then there are the Viltrumites that slay the universe, which are the Nazis. And you're saying that that's just a product of environment, such as if a German is born and it doesn't go through the psychological conditioning and hate training and all this other stuff, it's just going to be a German born person as opposed to a Nazi. So you're saying so Ben, your ultimate conclusion is rather than just full scale killing, that perhaps we go to restorative justice, or you go to reconditioning the population or reconditioning society. And is that possible when you have these people who've been living for 500, 1,000 years, whatever, how long these fucking fuckers live? Is that possible at that point? They're indoctrinated from kids, and I don't even know how. Based on what we saw, them kids was maybe 6 years old. I don't know. I don't even know if it's lower.
They're indoctrinated from birth. And I would ask the same question about our own society when we're indoctrinated from birth into a toxic whiteness society that is destructive to the whole earth, and that individuals born into it are inherently problematic.
So to that point, is it truly able to rehabilitate? If you're saying they're just born into the problematic cycle, then do you destroy the people, or do you?
I'm not sure. I have not.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't have an answer either. I don't know.
That's the conundrum I've run into myself, because I feel like humanity is we're in difference to the Viltrumites, we're so short-lived, and because of that, and because of our history on Earth being very short-lived, we have very short views of time, etc. And so I'm not sure about our capacity to change. Humanity has really not shown that throughout its history. It's always existed on the brink of killing itself, and here we are yet again. So as a person, as an individual, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but I do know that the system in place is basically the same thing that the Viltrumites have in place. And I think that people are not realizing that when they're watching the show. It's the same argument that I keep having about all these things. It's like people can see Nazis are evil, but they can't see an American police force. When they see someone put on a Nazi uniform, they're like, oh, that's an evil person. But when you see someone put on a police uniform, you're like, oh, well, there's all
same thing with Star Wars fans.
There's nuance there. If you're a Jedi, you must be good.
Yeah, if you're a stormtrooper, you're evil. And it's like, but yet we do not see that in our, American government, in other forms of government that I don't even want to mention because this show, and don't want to be taken off the air, and
I'll add more context to my initial stance, which I am still arguing for here, which is, yes, of course, the Viltrumites are a metaphor for ultra-right, white nationalists, Nazis. Like, that's very, very clear.
They even call them Nazis, space Nazis.
I don't even think it's clear enough, though. Again, right? You can say Nazi, but I don't think you can say it's clear enough that it's for ultra-right. No.
Well,
I understand. Let me. I'll just finish out the context that I'm adding. But I think it's obvious enough for most people who are paying attention. But I think that's besides the point that I'm getting at, which is I don't think that it tracks cleanly enough to justify genocide that in the show is justified, which you may have already understood was part of my point. But I'm not saying, oh, they don't track well to Nazis. I'm saying I don't think bombing the entire of Germany and eradicating all German people would have been an appropriate solution to World War II. While I do think that it is individual. So I want to clarify again, my initial points from this conversation is the solution that would work and make sense for Viltrum is unique to this work of fiction because Viltrumites, each individual in the society, is a nuclear bomb onto themselves. In our world, yes, there are some individuals who control a nuclear bomb, who can destroy lots of people. If we're having conversations about, killing or eliminating those folks, I'm with you. Every single Viltrumite baby is a danger. So I understand why Thaddeus is going, we can't risk at all any of these individuals. That does not track to our world. That was my point.
That makes that makes total sense to me. Now, what about the mixed people?
And
kill them too.
I do have one more point on that.
So Mark and his brother and anyone else who's happens to be on Earth that got half Viltrumite or portion.
Yeah, they got to go too. Yeah, I if you're gonna go with Thaddeus, you got to go with. But I do have one more point to that because it's just like with the Viltrumites having ultra long lives and having all these powers.
Exactly my stance. Japan was horrendous. The bombs were wrong. Is my point.
Wait, the bombs were wrong. Yes,
I'm talking about Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
And Japan was horrendous at the same time. Yeah, they were doing.
Yeah, both were true at the same time.
Horrific things. Yeah, but my point about the Viltrumites and the difference is like when you say that one of us can't do nuclear bomb level destruction. Yes, but at the same time, there's only 40 of them. There's billions of us, trillions, right? And each one of us can do a lot of damage. Like human beings can just wipe out. As we've seen, mass shooting, and that's like it's not the level of Viltrumites, but we're not. Scaling is the same thing, and we're still taking out a lot of people, and that's where it becomes thing. But no, I don't think you should blow up Germany or any other country like that. But
I think we're on the same page. I think we're quite close.
We're very close. I just don't. My only thing is like, where do you like when Thaddeus, I don't agree with Thaddeus, but what I do agree with is certain things.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with him at all. No, that's crazy. I don't. Yeah, why would I think wiping? Because that's what I'm saying. Because that means you wipe out Mark and Nolan, and that's where it becomes. Yeah, that's where it becomes.
But I thought 5 seconds ago you just said that they have to go.
Yeah, see.
So which one is it, Ben? Wally's and one Mike. They're gonna go.
Yeah, because we're kind of arguing the opposite of each other. Yeah, almost.
No, you were saying. Eddie, you were saying that you agree in the sense of the show.
Yeah, in the show.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with it in the sense of
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but in the sense of the real world, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Wait, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the show, save the Viltrumites. In the real world, blow everybody up. I don't know.
Because, like I say, I've said this many a time. Humanity is a cancer on this planet. I'm one of the people who agrees with Mr. Smith. Like
I don't think we are. I think I'm one more. I'm a little Andy Weir with it.
Do you know? By the way, for people, he said Ben says this a lot that you didn't catch. He agrees with Mr. Smith. We're talking about the Mr. Smith from the Matrix. Right?
Yeah.
The fact that he believes every human is a cancer onto the earth.
I believe that humanity has done great things, but in its time on the earth, in the system, and let me correct that, right? Because this system, like I keep saying, that we're living in now is the problem. That is like humanity itself. I'm not 100% sure because I wasn't here for all of it. I do think we
can't even remember. Yeah,
I do think we have been kind of weird, since we, started walking and talking. But I think that there were times when, humanity worked with the earth, etc. I think the system that we're in right now, where it is completely, anti-earth, anti-everything. I mean, this is earth that we're on right now. That is a huge problem. That is where when Mr. Smith talks about y'all stink, y'all smell. Hell yeah, we do. Like we are disgusting. We are the only species that lives like this. Where we don't live in accordance with the earth. Everything else works with it. We work against it.
Yeah. I think I have and this will take it to a different side. So I'll bring it back to Invincible in a second, but I do love those kinds of convos. Mm-hmm. I think that view is in itself anthropocentric. Like I think that what we do is we take a view of humanity that we've created, which is things like empathy and care and love and planning far into the future to help other people and helping other people that we don't know, which I think are very human things, not necessarily uniquely, but are very human things. And then we apply that to the fact that we also have the capacity for great harm. And then we say stuff like no other animal does things like this, or we call ourselves a cancer. And I'm like, to me, it's a little bit human centric. It's a little bit arrogant because I would say most of what humanity does, outside of a human frame is just neutral. Like, if we were to think about what the level of harm that other animals do within their own species, other animals do horrendous shit all the time.
No,
If we
see,
were to
that's
look
the
at,
hold on.
But is it to the like I think
Animals
we gotta talk
eat.
about scale. I think we
Yeah,
gotta talk
animals
about
eat to survive.
I was going to I'll get this. I'll
They
get the
kill
scale.
to
And
eat. You know, they like
animals do not kill only to survive. That's not
Oh no,
true
they'll
at all.
also
no, they also kill for territorial reasons, for any other reason.
For anger, for jealousy.
But I want to be clear, and this is also counts for this whole
Vegemite
conversation.
Go ahead.
There's a level of scale that also has to be applied to what you're doing. Yes, animals may do all these things, but they're also driven by biological nature, right? There's things we do that have nothing to do with biology. It's just we fucking feel like it or we fucking can.
Our feelings come from biology as well. I think that we also make this human distinction where we go, what we do with our brains is some new magical thing, but what a chimpanzee does when it decides, hey, the woman that I had a child with has had another child, so I'm going to kill that child, that somehow they're doing something natural and biological.
Well, no,
but when a human does, it's like, we're animals like everybody else.
But again,
we are animals, but I'm talking about things that are clearly only a human can do.
A chimpanzee ain't picking up the AR-15.
Humans create, refineries and factories to do certain things. And I'm not saying that we don't need oil ever again. I'm not saying none of that. I'm not one of those types. I'm saying there's just certain things that we do for the benefit of whether it's our furtherance of a human race, whether for, as you mentioned, Ben, you just said it just now, like you are just doing these things because you can or you want to for your own damn the earth. I
think we're moving between two different things. So the first thing is scale. The second thing is motivation, which you've moved now in the second sentence to talking about motivation.
I think it's both. It's both scale and order.
I think scale is the problem.
Scale is the problem because, for example,
so then if we're focusing in on scale, I'll address that because I did have that in my conceptualization of what y'all were saying. I think that when we look at things like microbes and the way that they terraform the environment and the way that that's caused like just mass extinction events. Same things have happened with plants that are invasive, not as a result of human beings transplanting them. They're animals that overeat and destroy an entire population.
Absolutely.
So things of scale happen all the time. We are unique in that we've got a very particular intelligence mechanism. We've evolved a particular trait that allows us to do, a bird can fly, but we can project our own mind into the future. That's an insane technology. No other animal has evolved as far as we can tell. But when it comes to scale, lots of other living creatures have done immense damage at scale. And I'm not saying that makes what we're doing good or anything like that. That's not my argument. It's just that this is not a unique thing. We are an animal, and cancer is also neutral. Like, cancer in a body is a neutral part of just a body operating. We don't like it because the host organism dies. And so I think that the idea that human beings are
cancer rates have risen through
as
the
a
rise
result
of Western
a lot of the activities
and toxic system that we're
living under. This is a semantic connection that doesn't really quite relate to what I just said, though.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is that like those rates have risen. Like, that's what I'm saying. Cancer is not
what does that
naturally operating part of a system.
It very much is. Like, even though cancer can be increased, cancer exists in all other animals and existed well before human beings existed, well before Western society. Talking about the fact that it's increased is now talking about a whole different thing. The point was just,
but that's what I'm talking about. Is the like?
I think also
that's what. Hold on, let me clear myself up right there, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. The system that humanity is living under right now is the problem. As I've said before, I'm not thousands of years old. I mean, humanity is not that old as it is, but I'm not even hundreds of years old to be able to tell you that, oh, this system before worked. What I can tell you is the system that we are living under right now is, when I say a cancer.
I'm not arguing otherwise. I just want to clarify. We're talking about.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not talking about two different things, but that's all I've ever said. Is like the system of humanity is the problem. Humanity.
So let me clarify to try and
can do great things,
get us in line with what we're saying. Because the thing that I disagree with is not. Is the human system of organization negative for human well-being, which I think is part of what you've just articulated. I completely and wholeheartedly agree. Is the system of human organization broadly negative in a universal, cosmic, or Earth sense? I'm saying it's neutral. To say that we are a cancer on the planet implies that we are having some real moral impact on the planet. And I would argue the planet is doing just fine. There have been species that have come and gone just like us
without us. Yeah, and we'll.
I agree. Yeah,
once we're gone. But right now,
and it's doing fine now. Is part of
when you say doing fine, define doing fine, because
it's doing fine.
Just like you said, there are certain things that would happen with or without us that will happen in the eons that we weren't here to the eons that we are, the less than time that we are here to the eons that we won't be here. Yes, the idea that the planet will be fine in what context? Like there's things that we are doing, actively doing, and have the choice and the ability to reason away from that we're still doing anyway, that are accelerating things such as just as high level global warming,
cancer,
right?
Yeah,
and yeah, sure, cancer and all that. But I'm just saying, even if you stick to just stuff that's simply biological, at least for me, my argument is not so much that humans are a cancer. My argument is not that humans are evil. It's just that there are things that we directly control that we do not, either from just not wanting to or not caring, and it has a massive scalable effect on the planet. Can other things have massive scalable effects on the planet? Absolutely. Biological things. We saw what COVID did to the whole entire world, and 100%. What would have happened if it went unchecked, right? What would happen if it went unchanged? Fine. That's something that is a living organism that decided to, quote, decided, right? It's not, I'm not going to argue on whether or not it had consciousness or morality. No, it's just something that did what it did because it's living, and that has a program.
I'm right there with you. Yeah.
To do that. Fine.
I don't think humanity is much different.
I agree.
Humans aren't too much different, but there's also the moral component that you can argue is in fact there. And there are things that we are doing that is directly actionable and that's directly measurable, that has a solid effect on the planet. Will the planet be okay? I don't fucking know. Maybe it will be, but maybe it's going to get to something catastrophic sooner than it should have if we had not been here.
Let me try and answer the question by maybe with another question. Do we think that the things that human beings are doing will result in the extinction of all life on Earth?
AI will take care of that.
Yeah, I think.
Or will cause that.
Okay, I think we are the
Skynet will.
And to get it back to Invincible and everything, I think as another comic that I know we both read, Power Fantasy, is showing yes, humanity is the thing that can cause the extinction level events more so than any other microbe or biome or anything. Like we are at
nuclear bombs does change that conversation a little bit.
We'll change the conversation completely about what life on Earth consists of,
which is why
that is something that is as far as I know, before us. Dinosaurs did not have that ability. They were here for literally, and that's something we always don't understand. Dinosaurs were here for hundreds of millions of years. It's impossible to wrap your mind around that amount of time when you consider humans have only been here for a few thousand.
Right.
It's last second of the last year. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
And
so it's like, but yet in this time, we've developed the ability to, do a lot. And so I don't, and that's the problem. It's like, that's what I mean. It's like this system we're living in. When I say it's a cancer on the Earth, I mean it's a cancer on the Earth for us. The Earth is
let me
just years old.
Let me just stop you right there to clarify where that the fact that you added just to us there, we now are in complete agreement. I want to see whether or not y'all understood where I was coming from before, which is that the to us, without putting that to us, I think becomes anthropocentric.
Yeah, but that's what Mr. Smith is saying in the movie. It's not the y'all are the problem.
He's not saying get rid of the Earth. He's saying get rid of the people.
I can't stand y'all.
But that doesn't make any sense now. And if we're saying that we are self-destructive to ourselves, saying that we should be eliminated only makes sense if we're saying we're destructive outwardly. But if we're only harming ourselves largely, which I would argue a lot of what climate change is doing.
So we can get back to Invincible, as we just pointed out, we can be, and we are. Like, we are more destructive than a lot of microbes, etc. We have changed the face of this earth in ways that microbes don't already. Animals don't.
We already got a whole bunch of comments giving examples of that not being the case. Like we've caused massive change that's going to probably destroy us. Yeah, but in terms of it being unique in the about billion years the Earth has been here, no.
I don't think any other microbe has dropped a nuclear bomb.
Was there
the nuclear bomb has not the nuclear bomb has not changed the face of the planet in the way that any of the previous extinction events have, which was your premise.
Yet.
Yeah, sure. Hypothetically, I'm with you. I'm right. If we add yet, then I'm with you.
And that is the whole argument, Eddie.
Yeah.
And that's the argument about the Viltrumites. It's yet.
Yes, there we go.
They have not done shit yet.
Hey, I'm the one saying we should get rid of them. I'm the one saying we should have been tipped out that shit. That little green vial and just go.
Eddie, that was my point. That was my whole point from the beginning. I'm telling you, you're saying get rid of them all. But if you're saying that, you're also saying get rid of humanity. That's what. See, then you're missing what I had to say. You're missing the point of the show, because the show is saying that humanity as a system, as the systems we live in, because we are descended into this fascist system where everyone will be indoctrinated into this way of life, and as other comments, like I said, power fantasy, etc., show, we are living in these times.
The only reason for killing all Viltrumites, or that I say for killing all Viltrumites, is because of the impact that they have on other species. If they were just on Viltrum, I would not be making that argument.
We want to go further, bro. We are looking to get into the universe. That is,
there's nobody else out there. What are we talking about?
Are we conquering anybody yet?
That's a whole
because now we're adding like 15 million hypotheticals of like, we're going to conquer
right now, bro. I'm
Martians.
talking about on this planet.
Okay, so let's stay on this planet.
Yeah, the system that started out in Europe, etc., right, spread around this planet, conquering the whole thing, being Viltrumites to the whole planet, right? And it's done that for the last.
Are we talking about
years.
Of other humans?
Oh yeah, right. I mean, because that's the thing.
See, now that's a different thing.
Oh no, it's not, because. See, that's the problem. What? See, when you're looking at the Viltrumites, and that's the problem.
Because now you're saying we should kill the slaves and the slave masters. Sorry.
No, I'm not. You're missing. See, once again, I said the system that started out in Europe and moved around the world, enslaving the world. I didn't say, because I don't know about the rest of the system, but I do know that they mainly, like Africa had a system of slavery, etc. It did not have chattel slavery. It's a completely different. It had never been introduced to the world on that scale before that. End of story. All right. So that system is what the Viltrumites represent. Right. This system has spread around the world for the last 400 or so years, like the Viltrumites spread around the universe for the last thousands. Once again, scale.
Okay.
Let me finish. Time they live versus time we live. Boom. But it is the same metaphor. That is what, that's what I'm arguing. That's what I'm always arguing.
We're disagreeing about.
I'm not sure, but let me finish, right? When you're talking, because I want to make sure we're not.
Because it's like a lot of it's not a disagreement.
Yeah, it's like you're saying kill all the Viltrumites, right? But what you won't say is destroy, like when I say, but like that's what I'm saying. I don't say you should kill all the Viltrumites, because I don't think that killing off a nation full of, people would solve the problem. But that's what you're saying. Like if you're saying kill the Viltrumites, then you're also saying kill toxic white supremacy and everybody who perpetrates it.
I think that part of the problem
there, I see what Ben's trying to say. He's talking about systems in place that are destructive.
That's what I'm saying.
Like virtue of them being.
Yes, and that is
allowed to exist.
That you can't bomb what the Viltrumites are doing, essentially.
He's saying you can't get rid of their system. Like their system is a concept, is a way of life. It's the only way would.
Am I getting it close, or because I was starting to see something that's bubbling from that?
Yeah. Ben's questioning you is, if you feel that way, like the only way you agree with him that the system's got to go, the Viltrumites got to go because they are
100% down the line.
He's saying by agreeing, he's saying in his view, by you agreeing to that approach, that you should also understand that if you agree to eradicating a system and a people as the only way to fully remove that as a detriment or negative to the society, then you should also be on the wave of deleting or removing all this other stuff that he mentioned. He mentioned white supremacy and all this other stuff.
It's like to go back,
which would mean people, humans who come up with these ideas and decide to perpetuate their ideas and continuously build systems. That's what Ben is trying to get at. Like if your line of thinking is that approach, he's also equating that to, and whether or not you agree is kind of, you could talk about that, but that's what he's saying. He's saying, and I fully understand what he's saying. Whether I agree, I don't know, but I understand what he's saying.
Can I, because the thing that I was going to ask was just clarify, because I tried to paraphrase the thing that I thought I was gleaning from his and your now explanation, but I want to make sure that I've got it. Is the idea that you figure, at least metaphorically, maybe not in the context of the show, but metaphorically, killing all Viltrumites will not destroy the thing that makes them dangerous, which is the system of their system.
He's saying that Ben is saying if that is your take, that killing them will get rid of that system, then if you want to get rid of all other negative detrimental systems, you also have to go after the people.
I'm just trying to clarify what Ben is saying, not what Ben is saying about what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that if you're going to kill all the Viltrumites, you have to kill all the Viltrumites. And that's what, and that's where I'm saying, but okay, does that mean, like you said, how do you distinguish a Viltrumite from a Nazi Viltrumite? And that's where it's like
distinguish a good Viltrumite from a bad Viltrumite.
And you're saying there is no difference.
And that's why I asked about
but yeah, I think we're going backwards a little bit.
And there goes to the whole thing to Nazis and Germans. Like, are you saying kill all the Germans? No, you're not. But you are saying kill all the Viltrumites. It's like,
I think we've I think we've maybe
where I'm like,
circle back around to where we have. I now understand less than I did a moment ago, which might be, and I do apologize because I really do want to understand the argument, but I think let's move to the next thing because I think I was like, I think I almost got it, and then I was like, fuck, I understand less. Do we want to talk about?
I've always said I don't know if you should kill everyone. That's my thing, but I do say that the system that we are brought up under is like, I think people are missing the point. Like George Lucas was originally making the Empire America, and I think people miss that point. That in the original Star Wars, America represents the Empire, and they are blowing up the Death Star with all the Empire in it, with the workers, with the dudes who are soldiers. Everyone gets blown up, and the heroes cheer. It's like,
well, look, we'll next time on Invincible, we'll figure this one out. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to get into was the saga that they're doing with like forgiveness, because they're building this idea with Debbie and Nolan that she's going in the direction of like forgiving him, and I think there's a couple of different ways that this could be framed, but to me, it kind of feels like it's framing it in the context of domestic abuse, like a metaphor for domestic abuse or cheating or combinations of various abusive behaviors in a relationship, and what does moving past that look like, or even in a family, like an abusive person in a family, the creepy uncle type shit.
Right.
What do we think about the way that they've treated this so far?
I want to hear it. I'll say this: I think it's being handled much better in the show than
in the comic.
Oh my God!
I've heard that. I don't know. I know for sure. I didn't know, but I heard that.
I reread it like recently, like just like a week ago. I just ran through the whole thing just to freshen my memory. And Jesus Christ, it was bad in the comic. Ooh, it's terrible. Like she's just like,
as a non-comic reader before he goes through.
That's insane. That was like that in the book. But
it was kind of quick. It was kind of quick.
By the time,
to be fair, it was very similar to how Mark's was even in the show.
Yeah, they fucking on the ship. Like as soon as they, by the time they're on that trip, they are fucking.
Like they're like a parallel to Alan and his woman.
That's gross. Okay,
it is disgusting.
Like I said, my context was purely the show, right? Remember, I didn't know what happened in the book. So, but based on what you started saying, this is an improvement on what happened in the books. I don't like the tone of it being like she's probably gonna or will be forgiving him, because I think people should be allowed to never forgive if they don't want to forgive. If it's something so egregious, something so life-changing, something so earth-shaping that you at some point have to forgive. I understand the aspect of you as a person, you don't necessarily have to. Now they try to throw in what Nolan has said to her just about you're a person who believes in essentially restorative justice and all this other stuff, and you believe that people have second chances. Is there a line though? At what point is there a line where there's no coming back from, or does this thinking apply to everything, right?
And it's like Yeah, maybe I think you could be rehabilitated. That don't mean I gotta fuck you again. Like, what do we mean? You know what I mean?
And I may exactly. I may think that you can be rehab. I may think that you can come back
together.
and you can come back and repent. But that doesn't mean I personally have to forgive you. So I
or invite you back into my life. Like, even if I do forgive you, that don't mean that you get to be my man again, or a father to these children, or live on this planet, or any of that,
or be in my house. So I fully understand. And what I thought was like typical of the internet, people's like, "Oh, she's being a bitch. He's trying." So fucking what? She has a right to be like, "I don't want you in my home. I don't want you near me. Don't come into my airspace." You committed egregious, unacceptable. Like, I don't even know what kind of anti-word I have to come up with.
There's not even a word for it on our
word for what this nigga Nolan did.
I got to point out something too in that, because Cecil said 2001, 2001,
23,
what's that the amount of people who died in
2,341.
Ain't no way.
I assume,
ain't no way them niggas was destroying cities. Like, them niggas, like, yo, them niggas.
It may have been more than that. But I'm just saying, I assume that was the number of people who died in the Chicago incident.
He's not including everybody back. He's going just the Chicago incident.
The Chicago incident was when he beat the fuck out of Mark.
Yeah,
sent him into the mountain.
Come on, man. They still should have killed way more than that. In Chicago, like, it would have been way more than that, bro. Like,
maybe,
but you gotta realize they got better technology than our world.
True,
so maybe they saved more people than, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just making shit up, but maybe, I don't know. That's the number they decided it was.
Cool.
Yeah,
that'll work. Yeah,
but no, I appreciate that they let, like, Debbie stood on 10 toes. Like, no, you are absolutely out of your mind. I do say that, like, even at the end of this finale, like, I see the signs that, like, oh, she's gonna let up a little bit, and I understand. And I also understand just from a humanistic, because this is another thing that aggravates me. They throw in that thought, like, well, at the end of the day, you're a human, and you're going to calm down, or you're gonna not be as prickly with enough time. Nigga, I hold grudges. I believe in revenge. I'm talking about me, myself, personally.
Yes.
If that was me, even if I had to, interact with this guy for the rest of my life, because he is the father of my kids, I'm not going to forgive him.
No.
I'm not going to have a relationship with you in any way, to the extent that I can avoid it. This she couldn't avoid. She had to go to Telestria, whatever the fuck it's called. And she had to hitch a ride on
that. Also felt like, it felt a little bit contrived to me. It felt like the show is still trying to do what it is still trying to hit the same endpoint that the comic was. Is just understanding you can't do it as fast and as sort of like humiliatingly as they did it in the comic, where she forgives immediately. But even that moment where she's like, I'm going to go up to the ship to take care of my son. Okay, cool. You've created a contrived situation that requires her to go live with her murderous baby daddy. Cool. And then it's like, oh, sorry, the ship can't land. Nigga, it's 20 different people that can fly to the ship. You have to hold her. Like, they created a scenario where Nolan has to, and I'm like, I cannot imagine being held by that man.
Hell no.
And
also,
like, he murdered so many people, beat the boy that I'm currently standing next to nearly to death, knocked all his fucking teeth out. They had to grow back up.
Can fly.
The
boy said literally just go, Mark, fly me up. Instead, because it feels like she wants him to make her forgive. You know what I'm saying? It feels like she's like
that.
Here, right?
And I don't like that.
Here, take my suitcase and convince me up on the ship. Oh my God, Earth is so amazing. It's like, why are we doing this thing where he's courting her,
Towards that I don't like, and towards what you're saying about it being contrived. You mean to tell me a ship that can travel light years away within 2 weeks? Not even that.
They don't have a probe.
They don't have a tractor beam. Like, they
right.
All of a
that's what I'm saying.
Technology doesn't exist.
Take me to your leader.
Come on, like I just said, it's just implausible to me. And this goes the same thing, like when you think about things like power sets and power levels, and when they pick and choose whether or not shit is gonna work. Oh, well, this futuristic thing that's over here. Oh, it doesn't. You can't just beam up.
You can't pick up FM radio. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Cecil's out there, bamfing in and out of everyone's reality at any point, but you can't do
$1 trillion a pop.
Sure. Right, $1 trillion a pop, sure, whatever. So yes, I agree with you. I think they put her in contrived situations, and it's clear that they're trying to push towards this aspect of forgiveness, but I don't agree with it. I do appreciate, though, that, especially what everyone's saying, that this is better or different from what happened in the book.
No, like, let me say that again. So much better. Like, the speech she gave him in an earlier episode, that was one of my favorite moments in the show, because there's none of that in the comic. But this episode really did disgust me with that part of it. like you said, like the contrived situation, the fact that they're leaning towards. I know this is the book, and I know that in the book she forgives him, and it's part of the storyline for their etc. But I just feel like the show is making such a better character of Debbie than the book does. And like one of the commenters pointed out, in the comics, that pet line isn't even in there.
They added
she never heard that.
Worse.
She added that. You know, like that's some crazy shit. And like we were talking about domestic violence, etc. I really hate that because this makes it seem like, you know, abusers get to get back with their people who they abused. And that shit's whack, fam. Like, you're an abuser. Like, because
like no matter what you do, you get to be forgiven. That is the wrong message.
And
just because you feel bad,
yeah, and I think the show Nolan made me hate Nolan more than the comic Nolan is what it really is.
Interesting.
Yeah, because in the comic, I guess I even was like, oh yeah, cool, you know, daddy's back, etc. You know, and in the show, it's like, no, this dude is a fucking monster,
right?
And just because, like, that was one of my favorite episodes too, when he was like I say, her speech. She's like, nigga, just because the rest of the universe is so shocked to hear you say, Viltrumite say I'm sorry, don't mean shit to me.
Right.
Like, no, because this is a human marriage. This is the responsibilities are way higher than your little cosmic shit. Like, this is a couple. It's a different thing.
Again, scale. Like, the universe is used to one thing. We are not on this earth used to a man flying around and killing 2,400 people in, 20 minutes probably. Like, that shit is not, no. And then, like you said, beat the fact that he beat his son, like, her son, it's just, nah, man.
His son too. That's the sad part.
But no, it ain't his son. You know,
it ain't his son no more, huh?
Yeah, you ain't no
it's
daddy.
Only his son by DNA alone, nothing else.
By sperm alone, fam. That's all you is. Like you ain't a father to this child. No, like,
And
you're the daddy, but you're not the father.
She's more of a mother to Oliver and a father to Oliver than he ever was.
He is 100%. Yeah, he's got what 2 months hunting worms or whatever with the kid. Like,
facts.
He's a quintessential deadbeat father. But I think one thing that I'll add is I'm a little bit more
out for a pack of Salem's.
Right. And I do think got a whole other family, fucking some whole other bug lady. Like,
I mean, he literally brought
another kid back, like with another
deal
bitch,
with it.
And it's like, yeah, he's perfect. Like, come on. But I do think
now here's another kid. Like,
it's truly insane. Like, he's actually done egregious shit on every scale. Like, he's done cosmic planet shit that's fucked up. But even if you take all the killing out, it's like, I cheated on you and then brought the kid back for you to take care of. Like, that by itself in our world would be unforgivable enough to never be anything to us. Like, if my father did some shit like that, fuck all the killing shit, just that by itself is enough to never speak to that person again.
Yeah.
But I think I'll add that I'm a little bit more, I'm for the restorative thing. I'm for I think that I don't think that there's really anything that can't, with enough time and work, be somewhat healed. But I think there's not enough time in an individual human life to get close to the necessary work that would be needed for Nolan to become back good. And I think that I really love what Cecil said in the way that they framed it. Because, Cecil is this, Amanda Waller Ubermensch kind of character where it's like, he's evil, but for good, is what or Nick Fury is kind of in the same vein, Batman, same thing. But when Nolan says, I almost died, and he says, great, die. Oh, actually, because this means that it was actually one more than that. He's like, die 2,341 more times, then we can have a conversation.
Right. And
so that means 2,342 people died during the Chicago shit. And to me, I'm going, I like the way that Cecil thought about that. And I like how much they're highlighting that Cecil, even as callous of a person as his job requires him to be, he feels every bit of the work that he does. Like, Sinclair discusses him, but he understands he's got to make a practical decision. He has the number of the people that died in Chicago ready to go in his head. So for me, I think that if we were to go forward 10,000 years, then we can start having this conversation. Sure. I'm open to that. The podcast, or like y'all may not necessarily, and I respect that as well. But if we go 10,000 years and then him and Debbie are having this conversation, then I'm like, cool. It's been like a year and a half. Right. I don't think that you could get me to forgive you for one murder, let alone 2,400.
Right.
Like, I don't even think she's mad enough. Like, I don't. If a man that you were dating stabbed your son, and then showed up 6 months later to have a conversation about anything. I don't even think the conversation would be this like, fuck you, you don't get to. It would be like a somewhere between fear and running and anger. It's like, how are you in my house? How did you get? I don't even think the response that she had.
Oh no, the Blicky's coming out.
Made full sense. Right, it's gun.
Like
it's running.
It's the Blicky's coming out. What do we have to talk about? There's nothing to talk about.
There's no conversation. You're not my man. Like, you stabbed my son. Like, there's no. How can we get past this thing? I don't know. It felt more like a breakup conversation. It felt like she was talking to somebody who cheated on her than like someone who did what he did.
Like someone else in the comments pointed out, he used your son's body to kill other people.
Again, I think it's still a bridge too far that you beat up our son.
Shit,
but like you use his body as a weapon to go through people.
Like your ex is like 9/11 on a trillion. Like your ex single-handedly is that
baby.
Dude,
sorry for 9/11, but you're the only emergency in my life. Like, what is this situation? What are we doing?
I fully agree. There's not enough human lifetime available to get Debbie realistically to the to the point of
80 years.
She'd be like, you know what? I forgive you. No,
I ain't
never, ever.
Yeah. I ain't talking to niggas for so much less, like in years. Like,
that said, I think that the thing that's getting left out is Mark and Oliver's forgiveness of him feels a lot less contrived for some reason, at least to me. Like we're not talking about that.
They just, and that's a question I have.
This feels very like forgiveness to me, but maybe it's partially practical. Mark and Oliver, I think so.
You think they forgive him, or do you? Well, Oliver's very young. I'll say that.
Oliver's young.
Oliver's very young, and kids just by nature, regardless of what the species they are, apparently,
it's their
by
father,
nature, they are forgiving. They are forgiving. Not to say that I mean, sometimes yes, they have a short history of life. They have a short, memory and all that stuff, but they are more forgiving than not, especially to someone who's considered a parental figure in their life or someone like they don't know anything else. Sure, Mark is a little bit older. I don't know. I don't know.
He's like 19, That's,
That not to say that he's not young, but he's also knows well more than his brother.
He's got some city miles on him, 100%.
Right. Than his brother Oliver. I don't know if it was like, has it ever, I don't know so much if I feel that he has forgiven. I don't know if Invincible Mark has truly forgiven his father, or he's just at the point where he's just accepting of the way things are, because like even when Nolan came down to just say like, yo, I need you to join the war, it didn't feel like, oh, because I forgive you, Pops.
Yeah, no.
It was like, damn, we're in a situation where if I don't jump up everything, because you remember Mark is also 19 and still very self-centered. He's very much the things that I love will die unless I jump into the fray.
I'll have to.
So I personally do not think, and maybe I could be wrong, maybe in the next season we find out Mark did forgive him. I don't think he really forgive him. I just think in the context of not having any other choice but to join the war, but to help his father, but to do that, he's doing it. Even the approach to when they went to go destroy Viltrum, he wasn't, and that's also because Mark is not a strategist. We know that very clearly, the many things he does and does not do.
Yeah, he just try and punch somebody in the head as hard as he can. That's his one move.
Even when his father was like, "Come on, let's just do this," Mark was just like all like hesitant, like, "Well, I don't know, man." Like it wasn't because like if he fully forgive, to me, forgiveness requires a level of trust. He has still not trusted his father this entire time. At what point does Mark make it clear that he trusts his father, besides when he's in situations where it requires you to follow through or you die?
I think that my counter to that, he may not, but I think that my counter would be that I think that we're using maybe a different measure for what forgiveness would look like for Mark versus the one that we're using for Debbie. Because I think if Debbie was gallivanting around with him because she has to and eating dinner with him because she has to because she's on the ship, we would call that forgiveness. And Mark is...
I wouldn't call it forgiveness. I would call it circumstantial.
Yeah. And
okay.
And there's a difference. If you're saying I know you just used it to just say it really quickly. Gallivanting means you're kind of doing it willingly and you're happy, right?
Yeah.
The word. If you just mean she just like she's going to Telestra, she has to go with this guy, right? That's the only way to get there. It's not because she forgives him. It's because
I think once y'all start watching Netflix shows together, that's gallivanting. Just to clarify.
Definitely.
That's what I
ain't done that yet.
Right. If we see that happening, then it's absolutely gallivanting.
Okay. And will we say that if she were to do that, that is forgiveness type behavior?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Y'all are with me.
Yeah,
Keep
that's what I'm saying. I don't think she's forgiving
I'm saying
him.
that the behavior, no, stay with me, because I'm saying that's what it would be for Debbie, and I think that we are on the same page there. For Mark, I think we've already seen him do shit with Nolan that is gallivanting. The way he hugs Nolan.
Give me an example of what would be
the way the first example would be the way he hugs Nolan when he gets to Thraxon. That by itself, I think, is a lot.
He almost saw him killed, though. Remember that? Like they're at war. You know, that's the thing. Like these are
he hugged him. He hugged him when he landed. The Viltrumites hadn't got there. He walked up to the Thraxon thing, foyer or whatever. Nolan comes behind him.
Mark's soft,
and he said,
man. What do you want from this man?
Like, hold on. Now we're moving the goalpost. Now we're talking about a different thing.
I don't remember that happening. So if that's the example you're giving,
I will. But no,
let me say
that. Like Mark, like we're also being a lot. Like Mark is 19 years old, right?
I agree.
Like someone else said in the comments, he's known his father his whole life, and then his father wilded out. He's also in a very unique situation where he is a half Viltrumite, and his father is the only other Viltrumite he knows. You know, or the only other one who's not trying to kill him constantly.
So we're saying not anymore.
This is like
the things that might motivate him to forgive Nolan are different than for Debbie, because Debbie's a grown-ass, fully human woman, whereas he's a child,
which is why you have to.
And Mark,
which is why you have to measure in different lenses, because they have different relationships.
Mark has to deal with a whole different like level of things that Debbie does not have to deal with. Like Mark has to go to war with this man. So you know, you're gonna hug him when you see him. Like, this is Pops, and we about to go to war.
And Mark got PTSD. He got he
got a lot of shit going on.
Issue happening to him right
only
now.
Only a few people can understand it. Debbie can't.
That part. Only
it's a different level.
And it's not only a few. It's like it's really only one. You know, because all the other superheroes can understand things to an extent, but they can't understand that you come from a different culture, a different old thing. And Mark feels that shit in his blood. Like he says, I'm worried that it's just, you know, is it me? Like Mark is not sure.
Am I evil inside?
Yeah, like he's like, you know, you Eddie, where you're like, oh, all of them gotta go. Mark's like, shit, maybe we all gotta go. Maybe it is me. You know, Mark sees
Mark is constantly
John Brown type shit. He understood what was going on.
Yeah, he's worried. You know,
Mark is worried. I am what we keep using the analogy. I am an atomic bomb. Maybe I need to be, you know, deleted,
eradicated.
Yeah.
Because they did this similar kind of shit in The Boys. Do y'all think that there's anything to the idea that Debbie might have a similar kind of connection? Like, because when Paul and them kind of, I don't like the way they broke them. We talked about this last time.
That was the bullshit.
It feels like an incel talking point, low key. Like, I'm gonna leave the decent guy who's like very understanding of my superhero like lifestyle. Like Paul is super humanly understanding of the world that he's coming into. Like even when they broke up, super understanding. She leaves him again, makes no fucking sense. They don't really explain it, and then goes back with Nolan. Feels like a ham-fisted.
Let me chime in as a woman too, because this happens a lot. This happens a lot about certain women that drive towards toxicity, right?
Choosing the bad guy. Yeah, there's been a few podcast episodes that have gone viral this last.
And right, I said you said this is primarily a relationship podcast. I think that's something that the audience would understand. Like, there's just some behaviors and patterns that just get perpetuated. And so, while I agree, I thought it was bullshit. It wasn't too far
kind of realistic.
What happens in real life too.
Yeah. I think that I find that disappointing, or maybe
it is disappointing.
Yeah, that feels that tears in my heart a little bit. The idea that because I think the way I first interpreted it is that Kirkman is essentially doing red pill manosphere talking point style plot points. But if the stance is something more like, this shit kind of does happen, you know, from a woman experience talking about other women. That just kind of makes me a little bit sad.
What would Kirkman know about that? And all these other people who are not women know about that. The question I have is, if they stayed together, what would have changed? Literally, and that nothing would have, like, did they? I say it in a sense of they didn't have to break up, because if they didn't, would they have changed Debbie going to Telescria? Would they have changed any of this other stuff happening? You said it, and we all saw it. Paul was mad agreeable. He was just like, "Hell,
he'd been like, I'll come too. I'll hold the crib down." Like he would have been totally.
So why did they have to break up? They gave the excuse of, because our lives are so different. And I'm just like, that's why I'm just like, all right, get the fuck out of here.
Because they don't want to make Debbie a cheater. Because we know what they're setting her up to do, and they don't want to make her a cheater. So she had to leave Paul first. That's what's going on.
And if that's the answer, then that fucking sucks.
And like commenter, and once again, when I reread it, because someone pointed out that in the comics he's a one panel character. Because when I was rereading, I was like searching for Paul. That's how bad it is. Like he's mentioned, but he's never there.
Never there. And also,
well, they had to build him out because they couldn't have Debbie forgive him. They couldn't make him the disposable character because Amber was also a disposable character in the same way.
No, Amber's even worse in the comics, and oh my god, it's like that's the problem.
I think they fleshed her out for the show. I think.
Yeah, they fleshed her out for the show, but not only that. At one point, they excised the whole storyline, and I'll just give the spoiler because they're not gonna do it now. At one point, after Amber breaks up with Invincible, she starts dating this other dude who beats her.
Abusive. Yeah.
Right.
Invincible then goes after the dude, threatens him and all this, and then goes and tells Amber what she did and what he did. And Amber's like, oh, he's okay. I think he just got mad. I'm going to give him another chance. And so Kirkman is like a white dude, a straight white man who writes, like this from 2020 years ago.
And that's why I said, what the fuck does he know about it? And also, just for clarity, I mean, because I could see why we took it that way, but did they explicitly say Debbie broke off with Paul, or was it?
I mean, based off the context,
they tried to make it seem like he
Paul didn't leave. Paul did not leave. Like Paul was like, please move in with me, baby. I'll do whenever you want. I got the Zillow up ready to go, and she's the one who's going, so
yeah,
but
see, they tried to flip it where he was like, let's be real. You're about that superhero life. I never really was. Which was bullshit. That's what I mean. It was like
that's what he was repeating to her what she told him when they broke up. That's what I think happened.
But that's what really irked me about this episode was how they did all that work with Paul and with Debbie separately and together to just be like, oh, they broke up off screen, just like they did in the comic.
Right, which was odd.
That was the exact thing they did in the comic. When Nolan showed up, she was like, oh yeah, I broke up with Paul, and you never even saw it. Like, at least in this
Kirkman Kirkman has an opportunity to do something real trill if he wants to. Like, if he has Nolan think that he has a chance with Debbie just for her to go back and fuck Paul, I'd be a happy man. I would like that plot point. I would like that plot point if they did that.
Is that in Debbie's character though, to move like that?
No,
I think so. No,
you think so?
Wait, to not go with Nolan and then go back to Paul.
To play with Nolan's mind, basically, and then go back.
Not to play with Nolan's mind, but because Nolan has convinced himself of many things that would be unimaginable to a human being. He's convinced himself that he can weasel his way back into this human family by giving just the most paltry version of apology. So I'm saying if Nolan convinces himself on some 500 Days of Summer type shit, they're like, oh, me and Debbie are getting back together, and then he knocks on the door and Paul opens the door, dick swinging. I feel like I'd like that scene.
No, I would love that
Paul
scene,
would never do that.
It's just like
but what if he did?
It'd be funny.
It's why I love that scene with Art, the tailor, so much, because even after Art finally told him off, and when Nolan flies away, he's breathing like, oh my God, thank God. And that's Debbie should still be fucking terrified of this.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Cecil is. Cecil's like, don't come near me.
She should not be.
Debbie's not afraid enough.
Yeah, so she should not be able to play games with his emotions. That's what I mean. She should not be able to be like, have Paul dick swinging, because she would think that he would punch his head through.
That said, though, I think that, and Tatiana, maybe you could speak to this more specifically as a woman, as I do think that sometimes, I'm trying to say this in a way that's not super pandery, but like women can be more brave in the face of male aggression than men can sometimes.
Well, that's because we're conditioned to be able to protect ourselves so we can survive the moment half the time. The whole idea of the bear versus the man in the forest. Like, it's like all my life, I've been trained and conditioned to how to conduct myself simply just to protect my well-being. Right. So, and that's actually because of male toxicity. It's not so much just because I'm a woman. It's because of the society of how males are conditioned to or not even conditions that they're almost allowed. They are allowed to kind of.
It's conditioning to allow.
A condition to allow to do what they want. So, so from my perspective, it's just like, you have to be brave in a way, because if you show any other thing, that might result in your death, or that might result in your direct harm. You can also claim that, as a woman, we go through all these things. It sounds very, very fairy tale and all this other stuff. A lot of times it's just very practical. Like, well, I have to be able to stand up for myself, or I could die.
Yeah. So I think I almost
know?
believe that she might be like, look, what I'm doing is protecting my children. I'm used to dealing with men who like everybody that I've dated has been stronger than me. You're just 10,000 billion times more strong than me. So like, I'm going to talk to you how I'm going to talk to you. Like I could almost kind of believe it.
And she kind of has, and she has she has a right to, and maybe there isn't a level of fear like we think there could or should be. Like, despite the fact that he's a Viltrumite and all this other stuff, maybe there is just a portion of her that's just like, I wish this nigga would. Yeah, I wish he would put his hand. I wish he would threaten my life. I wish he would do these things. But I'm trying to remember, like, was she scared at first when he first came down? Like, was she's like, oh my goddamn. I mean, there's the scene
because she opens the door and she's just like Nolan, like you know what I mean. And
right,
look, she may have been like doing woosah, massaging her earlobes before she opened that door.
Right, and stuff that we haven't seen. I mean, I think an incredible scene was when she was hitting him and her skin was coming up, you know, because he is this brick wall and all this other stuff.
100%.
But it was with conviction. It was without real fear of retaliation or threat. So, you know,
I think it's more at that point she don't give a fuck.
She don't give a fuck.
It's not even like
he might kill me, but fuck, I don't care.
Fuck it, I'm going to punch him. I'm gonna let this motherfucker know. You know, because it's like I've been holding this in for all this time. This dude did unimaginable shit. Fuck that. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and if it happens, it happens. Like that. She is traumatized just as much, if not more, than Mark.
Oh god,
like, you know, that's the thing. It's you gotta remember
because Mark seemed like he's built for a beating. Like I don't know, his ability to get the fuck back up after each of these situations is.
Yeah, but that's
it's crazy that he only just now has PTSD.
Yeah,
it's crazy that he's only just now seeing
getting
those
to it. Yeah, but that was another one.
I would argue he's had it for
he's been had it. But just the symptoms
it's just
we're
now
currently
manifesting
seeing,
in this way.
Yeah, yep. And I thought that was one of the brilliant things about the episode because I thought a little. I'm never a fan of those things when they show people getting killed and they're not being killed and it's just the characters imagining something. But how they did it, where
I knew what they were setting up.
Yeah, but not just that, how they were showing each character, it was the same wounds that Mark saw done to other characters.
Right.
Like when dude got his jaw ripped off, just like Oliver got his jaw ripped off.
I see.
Eve gets her eyes pushed in, just like Mark got his eyes pushed in. The other dude gets speared, just like, Mark's dad got speared. So it was the same type of thing. So that was really effective to me, how they did that part of it. But no, just the whole road they're going down. I think someone else said it. Like, there's a way to do it where they still have those story beats and they're not fucking, and that's what I would just prefer because
very doable.
Yeah, Nolan. And
you could just have them be on some fuck you shit for the whole thing because that's
or just some like co-parenting shit, whatever. But we are not ever getting back together, fam.
Yeah,
that is, and
like him and Cecil. Like Cecil will 100% work with Omni-Man, but I will never ever not be scared of you. Like,
and like I'll have a beer with you, like Art said, but I'll never do a suit for you, fam. You're not a hero.
You're not a hero.
You're not a hero. I don't do that. Yeah. And so I think that having Debbie do that, I think is honestly, I think they I think it'll be weird if they really try and do this forgiveness shit. Like,
but this show is like.
It's a coin toss.
It's the same thing that I've been saying about this season of Daredevil, where like he is just constantly forgiving Kingpin and now Bullseye on some centrist shit, on some like
let it go.
Yeah, and it's like, man, like this dude is Bullseye's a mass murderer, Kingpin is a mass murderer, Nolan is even worse, but both of these shows seem like they're gonna forgive him.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Adam Eve and Chubby Eve and
her getting thick?
Yeah, because
okay, what do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, what about it?
All right, in the comics, it's not handled that well. None of this is handled. No, I don't think so. I can't
remember what they did. Because I thought they handled it.
She's bigger in the comics than she is in the show. One.
In general?
No,
like
during this period. Okay.
Yeah, during this period when she gains the weight, she's much bigger. Mark is definitely in love with her no matter what, which I thought was really awesome about it.
Great.
Yep. It's just it's more like there's little things to me where it's kind of like, I don't know. And then like the whole her powers getting wonky on her pregnancy is I don't know, man.
I don't understand why they mentioned that and didn't explain nothing.
Yeah, it's not really explained in the comic either. It happens, and it's just, it's just like,
does she get an abortion in the comics? I mean, not that it doesn't make sense. I would like them to because if you're gonna go through the trouble of fleshing out something like that, or even
right, it can't be a hand wave. It can't just be like, fucking up my powers.
Oh, this fucked up my powers, and now it's over with. That's how it was. It was just like, and this never happened. Some Jedi mind trick shit. I'm just like, what? Like, that's a huge component. I don't know how it was handled in the comics. I don't know. Like, did she have an abortion in the comics? Like, what happened?
She does have an abortion in the comics. Yes.
Did Mark have the same reaction where he was like, "I love you anyway"?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Yep. I thought all that was great in the comics. Like, I that's the thing. Like, I will say this. I think that Invincible, and for those who haven't read the comics, there's a lot of stuff coming up where it's not just about people punching each other to death. They get into a whole lot of things. Like, there's something coming up that's been foreshadowed with, I don't even want to say which character, but it was foreshadowed in a one shot in this season that's coming up that is very crazy, that involves Mark. And I don't think I've ever seen it in any other medium like that, or at least that I know about.
Because look, the only reason I wouldn't spoil this is if Tatiana doesn't want it spoiled, if she doesn't already know this.
Don't spoil
but otherwise, okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've definitely already covered the thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think they're probably gonna skip. I don't know, because it is like, it's meant to happen. I think it happened before.
No, no, it's coming. No, it has not happened yet. No, all that is, and that shot of that character when my man said I was the one who killed Conquest, that's all in the book too. Like, all of that's in the book, and all of it's coming, bro. Like, that's like, I was telling a friend of mine who doesn't want to be spoiled, and I've been telling him about stuff, and I'm like, bro, all this stuff is like, I don't see them, like, other than like the Debbie Nolan stuff, which I hope they change. I don't really see them deviating from any of the storylines in the comics. Like, they've all been foreshadowed. Like, what happens with Robot and Monster Girl is being laid out right now,
and they should.
And why? And that becomes a major thing later. And then, like, that one character already gave the look. There's a shot of Craig. I had to look his name up in this episode where Craig is the Viltrumite with the one bionic eye.
Patch,
where he's macking on the shorty at the end of the episode. That is part of Craig's character, and that's something that comes up with him later on. Like, they've laid down all the things. Dinosaurus is about to come back because of things that have been laid out. But like,
one thing I will say, just with the Mark and Eve shit, is I think that they are boring as fuck on screen.
Who?
They just don't. I like, and maybe I don't know if this is an addendum to the thing that y'all were saying.
But who was born as
Mark and Eve?
Oh,
their
Mark and
whole
Eve?
relationship. I'm
yes,
like,
I agree.
It's just like, why is this on screen? And I love
them in the comics. Yeah,
I love seeing that kind of. But like, him and Amber felt like, or at least closer to a relationship I kind of give a fuck about. This just feels like us wasting time on watching a relatively functional, incredibly uncharismatic relationship. Like, there's not only are there no problems, but also they both just seem bored. I don't know. I don't like watching them anytime they're on screen. They're not having any, like, they managed to make an abortion that brought my powers back boring. I don't I don't care for some reason.
Yeah. And that was, you answered, I think, the question I was going to have, which was, is it because there's no conflict? And that in any story,
partially,
that's
but not
boring
only,
when there's no conflict. And by conflict, it doesn't necessarily mean we have an argument every 5 seconds. It means a difference.
We have to figure something out.
We have to figure something out.
To change.
It feels like, besides her not,
This Is Us. It's like, everything can be good, but we still have to figure out the next step. It's like, we don't have to figure nothing out.
It feels like, besides the whole not telling or getting to tell him that she was pregnant and then all this other stuff, like, there was no actual conflict between the two. They're both superheroes. They both could fly. They both, like you said, they don't, not to say you have to have an argument, but there's nothing that they seem to deeply disagree on. And I'm not saying you can't have a harmonious relationship.
Build an IKEA cabinet together or something. I just want to see y'all solving a single problem collectively. They're not doing it.
They're not solving
all their scenes are just them informing one another of something. Hey, here's what I did to do. Okay, I forgive you. Great. Now to the next scene. I'm Invincible. Like,
it's so funny because, like, I think in the comics, I don't know why, I just really enjoyed them much more. Like, in the comics when Conquest almost killed Eve, that was like I fucking was so mad. Like I put down that issue and I was so disgusted at everything.
Why?
Oh, how so?
Because I loved Eve.
Okay. Not because it's like
I see.
realistic that it's Conquest and everybody's going down, but
no, you know,
because you like Eve.
And then
because
also
you
in
felt
the comics,
poorly for her character.
Yeah, and in the comics, that issue ends with Eve on the ground, you know, hole in her chest, and Mark telling him, "I'm gonna kill you now." And so you think Eve is dead, and it's not. You know, then you have to wait a month. It wasn't like in the show where they immediately brought her back, and so you're like, "Oh, okay, she's fine." So I feel you now. I was laughing because I was reading some of the comments, and there's the big one that we don't want to talk about, but there's a few storylines coming up. Like, while I thought it was handled well, but reading the comments, people are like, "Man, fuck that." And like I said, I don't like. Okay, there's the one that's redacted that we don't want to talk about, right. But there's another storyline I'll just call reboot. That
the time travel situation. You say reboot. That's why I just assume you're talking about
it's interesting, and I don't understand how they're gonna pull that one off, honestly. Because that one I felt like was something with just the comics, and there's somebody else mentioned Bulletproof's storyline. There's a lot of weird shit that Kirkman has that because he's a white dude, you know, and that's the problem. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I thought that redacted stuff was intrinsic to what happens, but people are saying maybe not. And I will say that, like the comments are saying, I don't know how they pull that off and make it work because of the way the Manosphere, the way everything is going on in the world right now. I don't see it working at all because I see it making it where it's like,
well, I think we got to save this section of the conversation because we're trying to like talk around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll talk around it by saying like this: it's the same situation with Nolan, where it's gonna make a character do something unforgivable and make it seem like that's a forgivable act. Which, if you apply that to the real world, is fucking crazy, especially with where we're at right now with a bunch of men. See, damn it, I almost. All right,
listen.
Okay, Tatiana, let me.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Let me ask you a question just about Mark and Eve. What do you think? Because there was a comment that I just highlighted there, which is that like
they don't flirt.
They don't like even it's not even conflict or change, like which is part of it.
Yeah,
but I don't think that they like each other. I'm not convinced of their romance.
I was gonna say it feels too model relationship. And by model relationship, I don't mean a healthy relationship. I just mean
it's like hello.
It's like two dolls.
It's you know, like both a little gay. And they're like pretending to be like they have to be with each other. It's like they're one another's beard. It feels like we're both queer and we've decided that we're gonna be together. So like, hello, honey, I'm home is what their whole relationship feels like.
Right. I think it's the rejection that we seem to be feeling towards their relationship is the fact that it doesn't a level of realness to it, a level of if they always talk about humanity so fucking much on this show, and then there's no like depth or humanity in their relationship.
They're so perfect. Like, it's like he comes home and she's chubby and he's like, I love you, chubby. You know,
they should have,
and that's okay.
They should have done it the way. I think they should have done it the way they did in the comics. Because in the comics, what they did was she's insecure and he doesn't say, I love you. He goes, oh, I like this better, actually. And he has this lustful look on his face. I think that would have made it at least a little bit more interesting than like, yes, honey, I love you no matter how you look. It's just like, all right, man. Like, have him be a sexual being who's like, baby, you're thick. This is an improvement. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You know, this is different. I like it. It just feels like they often interact like NPCs as opposed to supposedly fleshed out characters that are allegedly better than what they were in the books. And so it's not translating into something like, you know, kind of the uncanny valley situation. Like it's not translating to something that you feel is real. So you're not gravitating toward it. In fact, you're being repulsed by it. And you're just like, I don't want to really deal with this.
And I think that's like one issue is, like I said, when I read Invincible the first time, it was like one of my favorite comic books. I recommend it to everybody. And
on the second read.
Yeah, I still know on the first read. Like when I first read it, I was like, oh my God, this is, you know, like I put mad people onto Invincible, you know, before it became this cultural phenomenon. I was talking about it all the time. And I still think as a basic superhero story, because it's basically a reimagination of Spider-Man and Superman combined. And as that, I think it's really good. But I do think when you read it again, as I just did, it shows so much of this is written by a young white man who don't know shit.
in the 2000s.
Yeah, because it is so much. And like y'all complaints about Mark and Eve are 100% valid. And the worst part about it is the only drama they have coming up is fucking artificial as hell and corny. Like,
so you mean more of the same? Because that's what's happening now.
Like right now, it's not even artificial drama. Because right now, it's like something happens and it's like, oh, we love each other.
Oh, later you made up drama.
Later on, there's real drama between them. It's
just for the purposes of the podcast, and I'll just say it explicitly rather than toying with it. I think if we're going to say that we're not going to do spoilers, let's just focus on things that have happened on screen for building the things that we're saying. I think just content wise, that'll be a little bit cleaner.
That's what I'm saying. I won't even giving you like. I was just saying that like coming up there drama.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you were about to spoil.
There's no helpful drama.
You were talking about it.
Yeah, because there's no good drama coming up. It's just unless the writers, deviate and give them some real drama, because the drama
they have to make something new. They don't have. There's nothing in the bucket. Honestly, he should stay with Amber. I think him and Amber would have been more interesting and just been, I don't know. Okay, what do y'all think about Mark's decision at the end? What do we think of I accept your terms? What he went through in his mind, is that the correct thing? Should he have done anything differently?
What choice did he have? Let's do it. Let's do
it. He swung at him with a good 1-2, and that shit didn't do nothing. So
first of all, Marcus
said, "Why I oughta."
That man would have folded Mark, like
folded him like a fucking pretzel. Yeah, and also Mark is very vincible. Let's say this. Let's be clear. Every episode showed me how vincible he was. That notwithstanding, even if we take away all the emotion, all the, everything, 1 + 1 = 2. What was he supposed to do in that situation? If you attempt to get rid of us, I will kill everybody. That was one side of the equation. If you allow us to stay hidden and not say shit or bother us, everybody lives. What was he supposed to do? Now, granted, he went through.
It was me. Yeah.
Now, whether or not I would do what it was me, that's different. But you asked me how did I think about how he took it, right? Like, so, especially where Mark's mind is mentally. When we talk about the PTSD, when we talk about the depression, when we talk about all of the mental overload he has gone through, it's not technically not over, but he just got out of a war. The fact that, he's learned about Eve being pregnant and doing it, like literally this is, if he's 19 or 22, whatever, how old he is, there's so much that his humanistic mind cannot handle. And it's fighting against himself to try to handle. Now this guy approaches him as if he is president of the earth and says, do you choose to save humanity or not? He's
asking him.
So
I love how Thrag was just there.
Like, out of everybody to ask, and I understand why he asked him, but out of everybody
he asked nobody. He said, yo, Mark.
So I'm just like, what do you expect of this particular character, knowing who he is, how he has positioned himself, how he has presented himself, and everything that he's going through? What else would he have? What else would he realistically say?
Okay, I agree or agree, not because not
agreeing personally what you would do, but
I mean, I think everything that he did makes sense. I completely agree with everything.
It makes sense.
You just said. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's good writing. Because we see him go through the moment in his own mind of no, I'll fight you right now, and then he starts doing that calculation. He starts thinking about the human suffering.
The moment he leaves the fucking ship from behind the moon, he is going through the moments of like before that he was on the ship and managing tidal waves.
Yeah. That was a great scene, by the way.
Amazing.
That was a gorgeously ominous scene. The chanting in the background as they fly and bring up the tidal wave behind them.
And that specter of death follows. I mean, not just Mark. As a viewer, I am sitting there like they can die any second. The moment these people touch down, it's immediate eradication. So know that he knows that he cannot beat Thrag. Okay.
No, not even a little bit. He can't even touch him. It's not even close like with Conquest.
Conquest was supposed to be that, Deus Ex Machina that you could never beat, but he got beat. Okay, fine, whatever to whatever circumstance he got beat. It ain't happening with Thrag. So what else are you supposed to do? Real like logic, calculus. What else is supposed to happen?
Yeah, I think that the thing that I guess I'm saying maybe what I would do is I would have said the same thing and quicker. I would have said yes immediately. That there's nothing else that as Thrag said, you don't have a choice, but you must make one nonetheless. I think that's exactly what Mark's situation was. It's like, hey, you can say no, and I'll just kill everybody anyway. or you can say yes and survive to tomorrow. But I think that the calculus that you do is, if I allow this, they're going to get stronger, and I'm going to have to deal. All I'm doing is kicking the can down the curb. I'm going to have to deal with them at some point. It depends, because maybe they'll change like Nolan did, or like.
But do you trust the truce? Because remember, do you trust that is a truth? Because Drag said we would never harm your people or bring harm to Earth. Do you trust that?
That's the other thing. That I think that's an additional thing. Like even if we do trust them, they may eventually become a problem.
Evolve out of that.
And yeah, they might change their mind. But even now, they might be lying, because they've lied. I mean, Nolan was undercover, secretly lying, saying that he would be my father for 20 years.
Exactly.
And that was untrue. So I would still say yes, but I think I would immediately go to Cecil or Nolan and figure out this plan, or Alan or whatever, and go like, cool, we know where they are. How do we figure out a way to kill them? Or neutralize them without, because I like to go straight to the killing. How do we get rid of these niggas as soon as we can without having to alert them to the fact that it's gonna be a problem?
And maybe he does, but we don't get to see that because the episode ends. Right?
Yeah. We only get to see what he says. What he says is what I would have said.
Not necessarily what he does next. And then the next thing we do see is the whole Scourge virus 2.0.
Yeah. And now that they probably shouldn't use, because that shit seemed like it might kill regular like humans too. So that's a little bit. That's a little
the
bit
argument
too much.
People are making
that is a little bit too extreme with that one.
It hits people with similar DNA.
Wait. It's not extreme when it kills Mark Nolan and the rest of these guys.
That's 50 people. That's 50. Hold on. Are you saying that 50 is very close to 7 billion? Because I'm sorry, brother. Those are very far numbers to me.
Doing the quintessential question: would you divert a train to kill one person?
The trolley problem is not a difficult math problem to me, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I know people love to talk about it. It's a very easy problem for me.
It's very easy problem. It's like I got to kill the one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even hesitate. We do it every day. That's what all. Look, don't put me in charge of shit, because I'll have shit moving smooth.
You definitely would have bombed all of Germany.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you would have been like, let's solve this problem versus the billions on Earth at the time. Gotta go.
Okay, so what if you were in Mark's situation in that moment, Ben? What do you do?
I fold. I buckle like a belt.
Yeah. So you just say I accept. And do you stay with the truce, or do you start planning in the background, or no? You just go, hey,
I got nothing for this nigga.
Well, the question is, do you keep it a secret, or do you start telling people?
I got nothing. Again, I got nothing.
Right. That's another good point.
I'm letting other people figure this shit out, bro.
Yeah.
I'm, like at this point, like I have enough issues. You know what I mean?
So are you telling to Tatiana's question?
Because that was the question I had for myself.
Planning, just are you, because the idea is that only Mark at this moment even knows that the Viltrumites are here.
Okay, who do I tell? I can't trust Cecil, so no. Can I tell him?
I see what
you're not gonna tell Alan? No, and you don't know that he has a Scourge virus 2.0.
Yeah,
are you gonna tell Alan?
I probably am, because I'm a dumbass, but that should be the mistake I make.
Okay, tell Alan.
Yeah, because I don't know that this man has a Scourge virus, and so I'm probably gonna tell Alan, and that's gonna be a mistake. But I'm definitely not telling Cecil, if I'm in Mark's shoes, because he doesn't trust him. And telling his dad is gonna be like, like it's like his dad is even more so than Mark is, where he has ties to Viltrum.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, it's telling him to be like, oh, hope they find a nice home,
Those are the two questions I had for myself at the end of the episode. I said, should he even tell anybody or keep it a secret? And then 2, did they make a mistake in destroying Viltrum?
I don't know why they did that. That seemed like a little bit of I know why they did it, but I don't know if it. I mean, I don't know.
What was Nolan's approach was, because again, he's thinking strategy. He's thinking, well, if he thought that was end game. Like if
they won't have a home base,
they won't have a home, and they'll realize everything that they're doing it for. They doing it for the gram. The gram is gone.
Yeah, and it's like they've lost. Like, it did at that point. And you know what? Maybe this is why
it made sense.
They seem so weak. Because I think the other thing is that we're forgetting, or not we're forgetting, but I'm forgetting that Earth is actually a very small proportion of the human, of the life that the Viltrumite Empire threatens.
Correct.
So it's like, if you think about it in the grand scale, maybe what Nolan did was selfish and harmful to humanity, but maybe it was still kind of the right solution, because now the Viltrumites are all on Earth. They're not doing shit on any of the other planets. They kind of have almost created quite a peace. I know the coalition is still quite mad at Alan, but it's like this actually was a pretty effective blow against their empire. It just blew back on Homo sapiens specifically.
And we have to be fair. No, clarity is 20. Is what would it say? Hindsight is 2020, right? Yeah. Like, you didn't know that was going to be the result of. I mean, granted, you can sit there and be like, well, if you blow up their planet, where the fuck are they going? But it was also in the pretense of what was happening. Up. I did also think they were gonna fucking eradicate them in space, and that didn't happen.
Yeah,
they got away. So
I have a question about that, because that was like, even in the comics and even in the show too, I was like, in the show, I guess I kind of understood it more, but it's like, what was the point of blowing up their planet?
Nolan was like coming at it from a psychological warfare perspective.
Yeah. It made them look pathetic. Like I think it did make Thrag give up. Like them destroying the planet. He goes, no, you can see that it had. Honestly, I think it was. Now I'm reversing my stance. I think it was the effective choice. We just are looking at it as a bad choice because we're from Earth. Like, we happen to be from the place that he went. But I think at the time, you look at what it did to Thrag psychologically. It made him not kill Nolan and Mark. It made him go, our empire is destroyed. We are a whisper of once we once were. There are less than 50. There's less than 40 of us.
39.
And our homeworld is destroyed.
Right.
At this point, you can no longer maintain the delusional idea that the Viltrumite empire even exists.
Okay,
there's a handful of Viltrumite.
Right. That's a psychological, and that's what I mean by psychological warfare.
This is bombing Germany and going, not with a nuke, but like the way that they did it in World War II, and going, okay, cool. Now we've got Hitler in a bunker with a gun in his mouth.
Yep.
There is no winning.
There's no winning.
Okay, I get it.
You can choose death, but that destroying your planet means you've lost this war.
Right.
And so now you have to make a decision in that context.
And I don't think he possibly thought that the opposite could happen, which was, okay, now they're going to go to Earth. Like, I don't think that was part of the thought process.
I don't think Nolan was being careless.
It should have been part of the thought process.
No, I don't think it was being careless.
It was to demoralize them to the point where it's like, you're not going to do anything. There's nothing left for you.
Yeah.
But also, there's nothing left for you. What are you going to do now? And Thrag is too solid. And again, I'm not saying we could have predicted this. No, it's hindsight's 2020. But Thrag is still solid in his convictions that at the end of the day, regardless, that his race has to exist and survive, he's going to do anything, including what seems to be the most logical answer of going to Earth and doing all this. One thing I do want to say is, even though he promised that he wouldn't destroy the Earth, and, he made the, Genesis promise, first book of the Bible promise, he never said he wasn't going to, like, later that race is going to go out and do the same thing again and start trying to take over the universe again.
Yeah.
He never said that. I mean, I don't know if he's even thinking that far, but he never said that.
I think it's very clear that he's like, I'm going to use you. Because he actually says this line where I think it was a what do you call it? Not a threat, but like a veiled threat or something like that, where he says, you can, if you choose to fight us, countless lives on your planet will be ended. And the people who survive, and then he pauses and he says, the people who survive will be living a less than ideal life.
Slavery.
And what I think the implication, specifically sexual slavery,
breeding
is what breeding is what I viewed that as, him being like, and we're going to rape the people of your planet until we get the necessary Viltrumite outcome.
Agreed.
Or we can do this according to your culture, where we, date your people and that kind of thing. And so I think his plan, even as he says it, is that he's not hiding it. He's like, the plan is to repopulate ourselves.
And then what happens when you repopulate yourself? He didn't make any, and that's it. Whether it goes,
he didn't say
positive, negative is not the point. It's the fact that now this question mark is still hanging in the air, because these are still nuclear bombs that are trying to repopulate. So whether it takes another 1,000 years to fully do, what happens then? What new promises or what new mandates get made? Are they going to just, again, this goes back to the conversation about eradicating systems, eradicating people. Does this mean that the system just continues again one day on a different planet, perhaps? But does Earth become Viltrumite 2.0? Again, it's like, does a cycle end?
And there's maybe no promise made. Is that the way that you get rid of it is by changing minds, because what happened with both Thetis and Nolan, they were both changed by not by brute force, but by social sort of like rehab. You know what I mean? Like their time on a planet is what changed their view of what is possible for a person to experience, and that's how they grew that love and that empathy and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, yeah, this Viltrum shit is not. So I mean, that is that. Oh, maybe Earth will heal the Viltrums. Maybe Viltrumites. Maybe it'll help them. You know.
And
you're saying maybe it'll rehab them like it did Nolan to a degree.
And that
maybe.
Yeah, and that goes back to my initial argument when you were like saying that, you know, you would kill all the Viltrumites. And I would like I said, I don't know if I would blow up, you know, Europe in its infancy to stop them from spreading around the world.
In its infancy is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you put on pants, I'm blowing the whole shit up.
I mean, you know, when catch them in the caves. Look, I don't know.
That's
hilarious.
Straight out the cave nuke.
Right out the Caucasus
Mountains. Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta get them, you know.
Blow up Yakub right as soon as he had the idea. Yeah.
Gotta catch them all, you know, but I don't know if that's the solution.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's the solution.
This podcast does not subscribe to, does not condone mass ethnocide.
Yeah, but the thing is, I also do not have a long enough time scale to see that if socialization will change. Because in the time scale that I've seen, even though people have been exposed to other cultures, etc., there's still a lot of Viltrumites, you know? And that's where,
I will say that change and this is to Tatiana's point, change is not permanent. I think that sometimes we have this idea that it's permanent, but it's like, no, you can change and then you can change again. And that's what the history of humanity is like you can go in many different directions.
I mean, America is doing that, and it's like my mom, you know, told me something, and I wish I'd understood it when she told me. She's like, for every step forward America will take, it'll take 2 steps backwards. And so when I was a kid, I heard that. I was like, oh, so we're going to get somewhere eventually. And I, you know, as an adult, I get what she was saying. You know, it's like, we might get somewhere, but where we're going is going to be a very haphazard journey. And it's going to dip back into craziness a lot more than it's going to dip back into righteousness.
What was that thing you highlighted?
I just thought this was an interesting point because I kind of agree. I'm thinking about things like Foundation. It's a bit of a sidestep, but like Bobby just says, I don't like sci-fi writers thinking of planets as countries or continents and not whole biospheres with billions of years of evolutionary history. I also think like even just culturally as well, we kind of go like, oh, this is Mars and Martian culture is like, but if like you said Earth culture, don't get me wrong, there is such a thing as Earth culture. If there were other planets, you could definitely capture what an Earth culture is across everything that we do. We behave very differently than, you know, even other animals or plants, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But there's so much variety. Like we don't agree about a whole bunch of stuff. So to be like, oh, that's what Martians do. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why it's like the Viltrumites so far to me, even on the show and in general, are portrayed.
They do have an Earth empire, but yeah,
it's way too like Viltrumites, you know, and there's no distinction. You know,
all is ours is their tagline, right?
Yeah, other than Thaddeus, you know, it's like the
no other countries.
Yeah, no other like no rebel society, none of that.
Yo, Thaddeus is on some different shit because you really like that. Like this motherfucker got radicalized when there was no other group. Like,
no, I mean that nigga's like the one Black Panther. Like, you know,
which is imagine being one Black Panther. Like, imagine being one Black Panther and there's nobody else black.
None. Yeah.
Like that. Like, it's just you, and you're going like, guys, I think this is wrong. Like, how would you even moor yourself? I guess once you leave and join the coalition of planets, then you understand that you're not alone.
Yeah.
But when you're a Viltrumite on Viltrum going, y'all are all 7 billion of you niggas are wrong.
And everybody's like, nigga, look at this nigga.
Right.
What do you mean, you fucking weirdo? Like, come on, show of hands, guys. Yeah, genocide. We like it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, even the idea of like, oh, if you meet one asshole, you met an asshole. But if everybody else you meet is an asshole, then it's actually you that's the problem.
Yeah. No,
Thaddeus had to have been thinking like, wait, am I tripping? Maybe being evil is good. Like, I can't be the only one. Like, everybody is wrong but me.
Like,
it's actually
the Viltrumites remind me of Starship Troopers when they're showing the empire of humanity on Starship Troopers. Like, even the little kids are out there stomping out bugs. You know, it's like everybody.
It's just a mono. You know,
it's like we are racist. You know, everyone.
That's what we do straight out the womb.
If it's a bug, kill it.
Yeah.
Speaking of bugs and killing and all that kind of stuff, what do we think about? Because I did not like some of the way it makes sense, but Oliver just seems Not only is he stupid, which I think is fair. I don't even think it's bad writing. I don't even hold it against him. He's very young, both biologically and chronologically. Cool. But I feel like the way other people treat him feels unnecessarily gentle to the point of his own detriment. Like, why the fuck did they let this man come to that fight? That made why?
Well, they couldn't stop him. They didn't let him.
He definitely could.
They could stop him.
His father should have restrained him and punched him out.
You don't the difference in strength between Nolan and Oliver is so much that he wouldn't have even had to hurt him to stop. Like he could literally just palm on his chest and go, nope.
But okay,
nope,
so
he wouldn't be able to break
I have a question,
hold,
and this is coming as if you're around kids. There's certain things you're not going to stop, no matter what you physically do, no matter what you mentally tell them, no matter what you verbally tell them.
I got no baby, so fair. Yeah.
Kids are going to find a way. And this boy can fly into space.
Yeah.
Not that far. He came put him back on Earth, see if he can catch the ship. I don't think he will.
Well, I don't know if he's catching the ship, but I'm just saying, again, to your point, sure, someone could have just physically restrained him, but would that have fully stopped him from trying? I don't know.
No, it wouldn't have stopped him from trying. It would have stopped him from getting his jaw slapped off, which I think is I agree. You can't stop a kid from trying things, but you do. And I don't know if are both of y'all parents?
No, but I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you are, Tatiana. I think that there are things that you do with your kid where you go, this can't happen. So I gotta stop it. They're gonna try it, but they can't do crack. So I'm gonna put a lot of roadblocks.
This is where I gotta pull it. This is where I gotta pull a culture card. Hold on. This is where I gotta pull a culture card. This boy is grown up in a white household. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not a black household where you are given
He's grown up in a Viltrumite household. They get shaped on that planet.
Right.
So I don't know. He's a mixed child.
Why?
And also,
Viltrumites are white. I'm not sure.
Viltrumites are not. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. He's half Asian.
And I'm talking about that from a very Black American perspective, cultural perspective.
It's an Asian household, yeah.
Sure. And listen, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm only gonna talk about what my experience is, okay? And in my experience, I've grown up with a level of being disciplined or taught or led to either A, not do things, or B, if my parents said no, yes, there's certain things that I might try to get away with. But if they're telling me you are going to die or you cannot, then maybe I would just not try or do it. This boy, half the time they tell him no, and he just keeps arguing long enough where they be like, okay, whatever. They fold on him on easy shit. They fold on him on the light shit. Why would they not necessarily fold now? They folded so many times.
Yeah, I agree. They keep folding and they shouldn't.
When he first wanted to be a crime fighter, he wanted to be little Batman and Robin. And they said, no, Oliver is too dangerous. No, you're not trained. No. What ended up happening? They fold him, let that little nigga do what he wants to do. And I'm not saying clearly Debbie is going to do everything she can to keep her son safe and do all this safe. And like you said, lock him in a box. The boy is still part Viltrumite. He's going to find a way. Maybe they could have tried harder, but at the end of the day, they've all proven throughout the years of having Oliver there that they fold on him. And there's
I agree.
There's no with this boy. It's a not yet, not right now, and then he just bypasses them.
And he eventually does it. Look, the thing, what beat his ass, Thrag is not what beat his ass. Gentle parenting is what beat his ass because moment to moment, he didn't have boundaries. But I think that for me, the fatal error, because but you got to also remember, Nolan was not part of raising or rearing this child at all. So Nolan wasn't even around here. So, Oliver was raised in an Asian household. It was him and it was his mother. There were no white fathers in that household. But when Nolan says, no, you can't go, he makes a decision when Mark says, don't do that. Don't try and be father to him. I think that whole dynamic was the wrong thing. Nolan did that for the same reason he's doing what he's doing with Debbie. I want this boy Oliver to love me. Mm-hmm. And I want that so badly. I've created a scenario where he almost died. And I think that was a bad decision on his part.
Can you please highlight this one comment? I'm sorry, I started laughing.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
William Perkins.
From William Perkins?
The one before it. Williams, actual. They let him fly around with a Taliban logo on his chest. That's what I'm just saying. That's actually
also a good point.
Just the level of freedom given, the gentle parenting, as you say.
They did. That is true. But Nolan's not a gentle parent. No, Nolan is the least gentle parent in this scenario.
He wasn't a parent, but that's also the point. He was you said he was an absentee father, even worse. So you live in a household with quote / gentle parenting / absentee father /
and no father,
your brother had PTSD and your brother's half not there anyway. What's supposed to happen?
And you got to remember,
bro, lock him in a box. Why can't we lock him in a box?
Lock a Viltrumite boy into a box that can get out of the box.
A Viltrumite
if you locked him in under. If you locked him the way they did Conquest, he'd be fine. He would not. He would not.
You gotta call Cecil for that.
No. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You don't have time to do that in the moment.
Yeah. And let me bring it back to clarity. Too.
They got super speed.
Remember, you got to remember just like with Mark, you are dealing with somebody who has, like, Mark has a view of humanity, etc. He's half Viltrumite. He's wondering, is he evil? Right. Oliver has perfect memory from his birth. Yes. He remembers everything. But he's also 4, 5, whatever, like not even
chronologically, but yeah,
chronologically,
he's like 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 2 or 3, like in terms of how long he's been alive.
But chronologically,
now remembering everything is different from wisdom, etc. that comes with all time. And then he's also someone who is not, like you say, he grew up in an Asian household, but he's really Thraxan. That's his half. He's half Thraxan, half Viltrumite. He is not human at all.
He's not Asian at all.
He doesn't look at humanity the same way we do. So he's like, when he's like, oh, you're going to stay behind on this earth and protect humanity. He's like, nigga, these niggas is roaches.
Right.
I'm not staying behind to protect
I don't think he's at this point.
It's
at this point, he's grown beyond that.
He's grown a little bit, but no, look, I don't want to do comics, but again, we know Oliver is different. Oliver is not someone who, and even as he grows,
he's different.
He admits to this later. It's like, this is not, he doesn't look at humanity the same way we do. He looks at his mom as someone, but the whole,
they're not his people.
If Earth blew up,
he's like, a lack of empathy.
Yeah, but he don't keep it moving.
Is it lack of empathy, or is it because that's just his nature?
I'm saying that's not a lack of empathy. I'm saying he views us as he views us the way we maybe view, like the way we would view Unopans, which is to say, I recognize that they're intelligent people, that they are beautiful, that they have a culture, that they should have rights and they should exist, but they're not my species. I'm not a human being at all. I don't think that they're roaches. They're just a different species. I'm living on an alien planet.
But see, that's my problem. That's one thing with humanity is like we don't recognize. Let's say he recognizes them the same way that we recognize squids. They're intelligent, super intelligence, etc. But if they all wiped off the face of the earth, we're not worried about moving.
We're not batting an eyelash.
We're not batting an eyelash.
I'm with you.
There it is. So it's the same thing. If they were wiped off the face of the earth, he's not thinking about it.
You're like, well, I would miss the calamari, but you know.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Oh well,
yeah.
But so that's what I'm saying. So he's not going to be able to. You're not going to just keep him on Earth. He's not looking at it the same way they are.
Man, chain that brother to a radiator. It would not. Give me 2 seconds. It'd be so easy to keep him on the plane. Like and literally, also, just grab him by the shoulders, fly down to Earth, put him on top of Mexico or whatever, then fly back and turn the ship on. He will not be able to catch y'all. He can't hold his breath long enough to catch that ship.
That thing, he's going to suffocate in space, and you're going to let.
No, he's just going to fly back. He's just going to fly back.
No, it's
Oliver don't care about his own life. Oliver don't care.
Oh, he's not going to save anything for the swim back. You're saying?
Yeah, it's Spider-Man in Infinity War. Like Spider-Man latched onto that ship. If Tony doesn't send the suit, he dies.
The same way.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. The same way Oliver haphazardly swings on a full-grown Viltrumite. Yes. The same Oliver.
Okay, wait. I can solve this problem. I can solve this problem. Have him run out of air in space, but call Cecil on the way back and go, yo, my kid's in the driveway, pick him up.
I don't trust Cecil.
All of this stuff that's not going to happen in the interim of action. Like I know you're saying it as a joking matter,
it's
but
doable.
I'm just saying
it's doable. Something I don't know. I feel like y'all not working with me to solve the problem. Like this book, a child got their jaws slapped off, and we're like, there's nothing we could have done.
Mark is 19. Shit happens, bro. Like. Hey,
with a 12-year-old,
there's a war going on.
At some point, there's parental obligations.
There's parental obligations, and then there's fucking Oliver.
I'm hearing a lot of morality coming from Oliver. It's weird, like when
Oliver is not. Hey, look, I'm all about the morality. Not everybody might not like where I land, but they're very clear morals. But I don't know. I'm just.
He's like, I'll kill them all, but I won't send soldiers, child soldiers.
I believe in right and wrong. That's all I'm saying.
All of them gotta die,
just not the correct one,
but not fighting for their own life. No.
Okay, do we have any? Because I got a few other like little leftover bits, but are there things that y'all like have hankerings to talk about that we haven't hit?
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at some of the comments because I haven't read the comments until now, and some of y'all are hilarious.
No, we got some great listeners in here.
No, my main problem.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe I just fucking missed it. Where did that Viltrumite ship come from? Like when the planet got destroyed and all that stuff, was the Viltrumite ship just chilling in the cut somewhere? Like I was like when they were like,
I guess
they're going to Earth
to another star system and picked up one of theirs. I mean, that's just me making shit up, but I'm assuming they just flew to another planet, like another colony they had, grabbed a Thraxan. What's it called? A Thraxan cruiser, and then flew it to Earth.
Okay, yeah. And that's not like it's an super important point. I was just like, how the hell did they get there that fast? Because I'm thinking they just, riding dirty in space with no
I think they flew over.
In the comics, they have ships, like, because even in that scene, they had the ship where the other aliens wanted to. Because they have all these other alien races who are part of the Viltrumite.
She's saying, how did they get that ship? Because when the planet blew
got
up,
destroyed. Because I thought, so I was just like, they was out there.
Because they flew away. They didn't get onto a ship. They flew away.
In space.
They went off. They went off.
Butt ass naked. No suits, nothing. Yeah.
It was out there. Just
I think
speaking of butt ass naked, why is this man Nolan ever wearing shoes? Like, I know he was married to an Asian woman for a bit, so maybe he picked up the habit. But I'm like, why has he never put shoes back on again ever in space?
That's the Viltrumite way, is not to wear shoes, and he just went back to them.
They're all wearing shoes. He's the only one with no shoes.
They're all fully covered.
He's the only one with his toes out.
Nolan just sticks to what's important, and it's not important that he's dressed like Fred Flintstone.
Just reevaluated the entire comic book. Wait a second.
No, Nolan's not wearing Viltrumite wears when his toes are out. He's wearing
the coalition's like little onesie with the capris.
Like the toes
I just think
out.
Don't fit him. First of all,
that's why Thaddeus had the toes out too. He did say that.
Yep.
What did Thaddeus say?
The coalition.
Alan said that Thaddeus always had his feet out. Thaddeus had his feet out.
Yeah. I think that is the funniest thing. Like, we didn't mention this though. This like the funniest thing to me in the comic and the show is when they destroy the planet, and it's like, oh, y'all have lost. And then this nigga immediately just rips Thaddeus' head off. Like,
no, I choose death, actually. I would like a refund.
And that's when I'm like, at that point, it's like, oh, maybe this demoralization plan didn't work.
That's what I said.
Because this man is still convicted. But it's already too late. So I don't blame that.
It was a good plan when you were writing. It was a good plan when you were making it. Oh, bro, when Mark says, how do we beat this guy? And Nolan says, Mark, we're about to die. Like, what are you asking me? No, that was like, sorry, we're about to die in space right now. That's what's gonna happen next. Now, I love you, son. But
someone said this in the comments, but Thrag's aura is so much better in the show because it's like the little stuff that you can show that you really can't show in a comic. Like when he punched the impact shit was one, but it's how he doesn't move, but what he needed to move. Like when they're trying to punch him and he just moves an inch out of the way. It's just like, that's all I need to do. Bro.
I'm so much faster than you. I don't need to do
that shit. It's just enough. Yeah, that was so sick.
That's some baller shit though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was so
fire. 100% bullshit.
The most thug shit that he did was that this motherfucker Gustavo framed the fucking space racer's pistol, which I'm like, because as far as I know, that shit would have killed his ass. But he was just like,
you mean the ultralight beam? Like
the ultralight beam, the ultralight beam.
Okay, I have a question towards that I've always thought. The beam is infinite. Where is it going? After it goes
forever.
So are there other planets getting rocked by this ultralight beam?
At some point. That's why he doesn't shoot it that much. That's why he's always so slow on that trigger.
He shot it a lot during that fight over
What's the reload rate on this thing? Like, how many are in the magazine?
Cooldown. It has a significant cooldown in a fight. Because you notice, like, to your point, even though he don't shoot, he shot it the most during this scene. But he don't shoot it.
This shit.
It's not an automatic where it's just constantly going. It's clear that there's some level of cooldown required.
Okay, it's not even a semi where you could. It's not even like if you can pull the hammer back fast enough, then you can keep going.
I think it's closer in the comics. It is known as like the gun to have. Like, there's no
but does that mean it's automatic? Was the question? Was it just
is there a cooldown?
It's what Eddie said more so. It's like you cannot spray that shit. It's not
you
that
cannot spray it.
It's not that he can't. It's like you can't. Because if you start spraying, there are worlds.
Right. Okay. So
you're saying there's not a cooldown period, and it's basically just like a double or like a single action. But you're like, I don't want to keep just shooting it everywhere because I'm gonna kill the whole universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that he can't, but he can't.
Yeah. He's got sense. Space race.
That does actually make sense. I think I like that explanation better than the contrived, warm down period thing. It's like, bro, it's an infinite gun. I can't just shoot it. Like it's just like shooting a gun in a plane. Like,
I just can't shoot it willy nilly. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I do like that potential explanation.
He's around for a while. He's going to get more more time. But that shit is like, no, it blasts through everything. It does not stop. And he's smart enough to know I can't just be out here. Now here's the point that I've always made about this, which is that, and I'm it sounds like somebody else has done a video. Space is mad empty. Yeah. So I think even if you were shooting it, like it would take forever before you hit anything. Like it's the radius on it is like this. If I shot
on it,
but it's also if you just spraying willy nilly,
I think even if you sprayed willy nilly, you still probably wouldn't hit anything because it's like.
But what if you
what do you call like arcs of degrees? The farther the shit gets away, even if I spray like this, after like 10 seconds of travel, they're all like light years apart from one another. They're not gonna fucking hit anything.
There's people right there. You start
that's true. That's a good point. Right that's a good point.
They're right there. Allen, Invincible, any of them catch a strike.
Just anybody behind anything.
It's a wrap. It's like you don't want to just be spraying that out. Like you can kill your homies right there. Like,
okay, so this is now a question for the comic book readers. What do you think would happen if Space Racer shoots Brit? What happens in that scenario?
Shoots who?
Brit, the Mike Ehrmantraut dude
Brit
from
dead. Brit dead. Brit
dead?
I thought that gun is a one-hitter quitter no matter what.
Damn, how invulnerable you are, nigga. That gun is blown through the planet. It's blown through Brit. Yeah, no.
It's an ultralight beam, my nigga.
Yeah, like
what
is
Kanye made it. You can't.
I get Brit is supposed to be like the true Invincible, but nah, man, that shit is going through that man. Like,
I think it pushes him. I think it pushes him out of the way, or it either pushes him out of the way and doesn't kill him, or it destroys both of them and creates a black hole and kills everything. Like it's like they can't touch. It's like divided by zero.
Like a
man, that man can't even keep his hair. That blast is going right through his ass.
You think that's the relation? How much hair you got to indestructibility? It's a direct ratio. Okay, I like your science. I like the science on that one. He said he's bald, therefore
the invulnerability can't be that strong.
Oh my god!
I think I really love the character of he just is truly physically completely invulnerable. It reminds me. I don't know if either of y'all ever read Three Body Problem, but in it there's this. It's a good trilogy, but there's this idea that they made a material that has like a field inside of it that causes all of its atoms to turn into a lattice, so that it's completely indestructible because it's got an internal force inside of it. So its outside doesn't even look like atoms. Like you can't slice through it because they're latticed together. The only way you can destroy it is if you can disrupt the field inside of it, and then that makes it vulnerable outside. Okay. And I'm just thinking about Brit is like his body is different. Like he's not invulnerable the same way a Viltrumite is.
No,
his body is something different in the universe.
Because Brit and his son later on are some of the most hilarious shit in the comic, and how because of that invulnerability thing, how it works. So I do like that.
They
about
truly
him.
Like a Viltrumite can't do nothing to him.
Yeah, nobody.
A nuke doesn't do anything. Nothing.
But
can
again,
hurt
I think that gun is the.
You think that gun will do it?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I think the gun is the gun. It is like. It's the thing in the universe that just goes through everything. It's like that's the one thing.
I kept screaming, "Shoot the gun!" during that fight. Like, shoot the gun.
They're all so inefficient in these fights. Like, they just have no
terrible every time he shot it because it was like, God damn, like
you killing somebody next door.
Like, I mean, I'm talking about the dude he shot. Like, it was such a finality. It's just like hole through your chest, and
it's like, oh man, I know he was a Viltrumite, but he didn't deserve that. Like, you just shot his whole heart out. Like,
cats,
like that's why I don't understand. I don't understand.
Like, shoot their foot off or something. Like, why you gotta,
I don't understand. A question I had, again, I'm just doing like side questions that I had was like, and I understood like there was some health and
let's do some nitpicks. Yeah.
kind of felt very healer-ish to me, or no, very support character to me. Why was Tech Jacket so important to being in the group?
Man, she should not have been. Look, I think that the reason that she was there is because of her cannons. She was there for the same reason as Space Racer. Both of those characters are glass cannons, where it's like they have exclusive access to a powerful weapon, but they're incredibly physically vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because honestly, she felt. I think that her being there was a net negative, because Alan kept having to, because Alan could kind of stand toe to toe with one Viltrumite, right? He kept having to save her and then getting double teamed, and it's like, bro, if she just wasn't there, he'd be able to kill individual Viltrumites if he could just stay on his block, you know.
And I'm not gonna lie, she did some assists, some needed assists. You know, there was a few of them darts. Yeah, the cannons. There was a few of the darts. She saved Space Racer.
They could have gave them darts to anybody. I don't know why she had to be. They could have had Alan with a slingshot. I don't know why they had to
have saved Space Racer though when his helmet got cracked.
No, that is a very good point. That's a very good point. He would have died without her.
So that was like critical. But beyond that, was there like a real like super purpose why like she made the difference? Obviously, if Space Racer is the only main difference because of the ultralight beam, then cool, I'm okay with that. But
yeah, because with his Infinity Ray shit, you understand why he's there, even though he's weak as fuck relative to them, and they broke his little mask. And he's like, "Oh no, my glasses." You know why he's there, because of that gun.
That's gaming rules. That's how it has to be. You know, unless you're just completely OP, you have an OP weapon that is in the hands of someone who can die any second. I think that's a good balance, and that provides conflict for story. Sure,
I think that's what she was supposed to be, but just like kind of more in the middle. But she's less physically vulnerable than Space Racer.
Yeah.
And also her weapon is very, very powerful, but still less than his shit.
And then also it lets her and Alan escape. You know, that was the other part of it where they have their whole little thing.
Oh, because they've got
Yep.
I'm just trying to think, like, again, because I don't know the whole universe of characters available, but if
they have Marvel, Spawn, they should have sent Spawn. They should have sent Eve.
This is like Marvel versus Capcom. Did they choose the right team?
No,
right?
no. This is like
I don't think so.
This is Robert Kirkman created Tech Jacket in another book. Tech Jacket was another creation of Robert Kirkman where they had their own series. It was a cosign,
yeah. He put his own artist in the feature.
So he put in a cameo character, basically.
Yeah.
Basically,
and Tech Jacket, the comic flopped. So it was like one of those things where he loved the character, and so he wanted to keep using it. And so, and
they should have had Britt out there with some. I don't know, like had him maybe not, just have him so he could be used as a bludgeon. They should have had him out there with a jetpack the same way they did Battle Beast. They should have had Eve out there. Eve is one of the most underutilized characters in this show. Like, why is she spending most of her on-screen time just being like the stay-at-home wife to Invincible?
Because
she has Dr. Manhattan powers.
Yeah, it's the same bullshit. That's the problem. Like, Eve is one of those characters who's way too powerful. And so if you use her in every scene, she just eliminates the need for drama. And so they make her weak where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to create little pink shields and shit, instead of like transmutating anything.
Yeah. I mean, you could cut the difference. Like, just have her like, cool, can we get her to do one of those conquest, boneless fillet shits that she can do? If we could just get her to do one more of those before the show is over, I'd be pretty happy.
But she didn't have her powers intact though during that time, right? Wasn't that?
I'm pretty sure Cecil has Plan B available.
Her limitation is that she cannot affect organic matter.
Organic matter, yes. Except under threat of death.
Yes. Yep. And that's the bullshit. And even though
if I was Cecil, I'd be trying to figure out how to get,
Yeah, and even without
have y'all read Kindred?
From Octavia Butler, Kindred?
Yeah, from Octavia Butler. You know how she could time travel, but only when she's right about to die?
Facts.
That's and so there's a couple of times towards the end where she utilized that, where she's like, I'm going to put myself in a situation or straight try and kill myself in order to induce my ability. If I was Adam Eve, I'd keep a little razor tucked under the tongue, just ready for like, oops, sorry, now I'm going to be able to use my powers fully or something, Did
she even realize that though? Like that whole thing that happened with Conquest,
did she not? Did she know that's
no, she did not know.
I don't think she knew she could go plus ultra like that. And I don't think she understands
No, but now she does is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's also one of the things, are you going to risk your life? It's like, it sounds reasonable to us, but it's like,
because I'm just watching a TV show.
Yeah, and what happens when one of the Viltrumites comes in and slaps your head off, and then it's over? You know, like there's no, So I get why she's not out there, but it's also because they're limiting her. Because even without the ability to affect organic matter, she should be able to do a lot of ill shit.
She's still so strong.
Yeah, like
she made the air more dense around fucking Conquest, where he couldn't fly. Like there's shit that she could do.
Yeah,
even if she can't, shit she could do.
It's like when you saw Metamorpho in the Superman movie, like he created a sun. Like she should be able to do all those type of events.
That's what I'm saying. She should create an infinity ray. Like, yo, let me see what this shit is made out of. I can make one myself, you know? Yo, last thing that I'll say is Oliver is to y'all's point, Oliver is different because the fact that he thought that somebody was sexually attractive when he goes to a restaurant, sees a crab in a tank, thought that this lady was attractive, then proceeded to fucking eat her with everybody else. That is some fucking psychopath behavior. That child is not fucking right.
That's what I mean.
I try to tell y'all,
that child is not fucking right.
Yeah, he's not human. That's the, you can't look at him just because he looks like a little human boy that's purple or whatever. You cannot look at him as human. His two things are psychopathic, race, and we don't know what the
photographic bug.
Photographic bug who lived for 10 minutes and die, like at least relative to us, and are used to that, where their whole society is developed around the idea.
They move quick, they forgive quick, they love quick.
They move on quickly. Things move because they ain't gonna be here. So he's and then the other side is that side that Mark is battling with, like, am I just a psychopath? It's not like a human where he's like, where we're born with emotions and all that, all the morality, all that. No, he ain't got none of that. His moralities are just completely different from us. And that all he has is the time he spent with Debbie to maybe get a little bit of human morality in him. But his like instincts are, just like we have instincts and stuff, his instincts are completely different than ours. And his like examples of what he even idolizes and look up to is just not us. He looks up to Viltrumite and Thraxon.
Yeah.
He's not like Earth culture is cool. It's like, no, that's
he's never,
that shit's horrific to him, probably. Yeah.
Lobsters are sexy to him. So
yeah. And then I'll still eat my sexy lobster.
That's some weird. I don't know. That feels like the Viltrum getting crossed with the Thraxon, where he's like, the Thraxon part of me wants to fuck you. Yeah. The Viltrumite part of me thinks that I could just eat you. Yeah. That's
that shit is.
And there's also a Debbie part that's like, that's delicious. Okay.
Yeah, because Debbie the human was like, no, it's all right, go ahead. And he's like, okay, thanks, Mom. Yeah. Meanwhile, this woman is on the table like, oh my God. Like,
that shit is so wild. I mean, men are trash, but that's another level.
That's different. Can you imagine somebody flirting with you and then being like, oh, looks like everybody's about to eat you, so I guess I'll go ahead and just, I don't want to be uncool. I want to fit in. I know I was trying to ask you out on a date before, but I think I'm just going to dip you in some garlic butter, I'm not with it.
That's look, level.
On that note, I will say if you are given an edict from a Viltrumite to allow them to populate your entire planet, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, if you think that you got to kill everybody to solve a given problem, it might be you that's waving the red flag. It's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. We've been joined by Tatiana and DJ Ben Amin of For All Nerds. Where can the people check you out? What should they see? What do y'all got going on? What do you want to tell folks?
You can find For All Nerds everywhere. You can find your good podcast, which is everywhere. You can also find us on YouTube, For All Nerds, ForAllnerds. You can find us on every social media platform known to man, and the ones you don't know about yet. We exist in all spaces, times, and genres and dimensions. We're 3D, we're 5D, all that. Please, if you liked our inclusion here, you like what you hear, you like our steez, if you will, please go to ForAllnerds.com. That's where you can support us. We are an independently funded, Black-owned brand. And as mentioned, we are a media brand. So we are Rotten Tomatoes critics. We do live events. We also obviously do podcasts. We do reviews. And if you go to our site, you can support us by getting our merch. So I'm wearing here the Gucci Mandalorian shirt. You'll find a variety of amazing shirts like this, as well as
hold on. Let me look that up. Go to it.
Several other amazing designs and even more to come. Ben Amin is wearing a secret one that you may or may not get down.
Yeah, it may not be able to get this one.
Right, but
the haters are out on this one. Boy.
It is. You know, we're doing very well.
Stripes.
We're doing very well with it, but to the point where there are bootleggers. So we always ask, if you do see any of these designs out in the wild, do not buy from them unless you see it from For All Nerds. And as mentioned, you can follow all of us. Yeah, look at that. Look at them. Duncan Egg. That's for
Lex Luthor. There we go.
Lex Luthor. That's one of my AKAs. Gucci Mane. One of my AKAs. Duncan Egg is for the Tales of a Knight of Seven Kingdoms. Lionel Richie. You know, we have a bunch of yeah. Look at the cheese. Look at the sweatshirts. Look at everything that we have available. I think I don't know if it's up. We even had something for a dog up there.
Right.
Magneto is right. There
Magneto's right. You know, basically all the types of stuff we talked about on this show.
The variants.
Yeah, the stuff, everything we talked about on the show is this type of stuff that we cover on our podcast, on whenever we're guests, or particularly on our own channel. So we really do appreciate and salute everyone who has found any type of value in anything we said and has followed us, support us in any way. As mentioned, please, at the very least, follow us. At the very least, share. Continue to support Eddy over here. Like, please, appreciate everything. So, anything else I missed, Ben?
You can also get my graphic novel in stores everywhere. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Well, long story short, it's Jimi Hendrix in a graphic novel using the power of his music to battle against an evil intergalactic empire. It is fully endorsed and licensed by the estate. Yeah, by the Hendrix estate.
The only one.
Yeah, the only graphic novel is written by me and my brother Mello Brown. There's 2 covers, but it's only 1 book. And it features art by the legend Tom Mandrake, and our colorist Justin Prokovich was nominated for the Eisner Award for his colors. So it's an Eisner Award nominated book, and I'm an Eisner
like the Oscars for comics. So.
Yeah, and it's one of the greatest books I've ever written. I've only written 2 books that are published, but it's one of my favorite things that I've ever written out of a lot of things that I have written, and I'm really super proud of it. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. If you're in the States, you can hit up Anyone Comics. They're in Brooklyn, but hit them up and tell them you want a signed copy, and I'll go over there and sign it for you, and they'll ship it to you.
Okay. What you said that was where? I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, in Anyone Comics.
Yeah, that's an independent. We support independent bookstores.
Yep.
Yeah, more over than Amazon. I mean, do what you got to do regardless of where you are. But if you want,
fuck Amazon. Don't buy it from them.
Don't try not Amazon. Try your local bookshop.
Hit up Anyone Comics or your local bookshop. But if you hit up Anyone, I can get you a signed copy, and you know that's the only way you can get it unless you run into me somewhere in the streets.
831 Nordstrand Ave.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm gonna help you. Nostrand Avenue.
Nostrand. Okay, yeah, because it's one of those British kind of things where you're not supposed to say certain letters.
The S,
kind of a thing.
Yeah, trust me, I didn't understand how to say that shit for the longest. Oh, and Fox Freeman, one of your listeners, is by there. Yeah, stop by, man. Yeah, definitely. Tell him I sent you and grab some comics, and I'll definitely come through it. Like if you say, "Yo, give me a signed copy," next time I go in there, I'll sign it. I actually should be by there Friday, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what's up. Yeah. Listen, we love this shit. We do that. We live and breathe this shit every day. This is what makes us happy. This is what sustains us. So as mentioned, just anything you can do to support and continue to listen or share, just telling people about us helps us be continuously successful and get the word out to more people.
Follow us on YouTube, especially because we're really
very much YouTube.
Yeah, looking to grow our YouTube.
Yeah, TikTok. I mean, like I said, we're literally everywhere. For All Nerds, ForAllnerds.
Yep.
For All Nerds. It's For All Nerds TV on YouTube, right?
Yep. That's us.
And even if you just literally just Google the name, everything that we're associated with should, and hopefully only the real stuff we're associated with pops up.
Yeah, it is.
Don't read the AI results. Just do actually go through the actual results.
Well, we don't condone it.
AI be wrong.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Amazing. Perfect. Yes. Thank you very much for coming on. Just stay on for a split second. I'm just going to end the stream. And amazing.